Somewhere in a battlefield, volcanoes are erupting and magma is flowing everywhere. Crows are flying in the sky when a swordsman breathing heavily is standing on the ground. He is looking injured with corpses lying around him. He then looks at a demon in front of him. The demon looks at him thinking hero, he pay his respects to him and his comrade's courage. However, now that he has foiled his ambitions, he will take away his hopes as well. The demon then prepares an attack and attack the hero. The hero looks at a girl and then smiles at her when the attack hits him, while the girl shouts his name. Our main character is looking at his phone reading a manhwa when he thinks the way this was directed is truly impressive. His name is Kim Yangsa. He clicks for the next chapter when he finds out that he is out of coins. He thinks he's short exactly 1 coin. Kim is just an ordinary person living in South Korea. In this life he's always exhausted for some reason. Dreams, hopes for the future, role models, his friends who talk about those things always feel distant. He doesn't have anything he desperately wishes for nor anything he hates enough to die. Like tasteless water, a human without any color, smell or flavor. That's probably him. His grandfather gave him the name Yangsa, but that's all that amounted to, some silly joke. Despite his name, he went through an ordinary childhood and became an ordinary office worker. A life of commuting at 8 a.m. and getting off work at 7 p.m. every day. His existence is faint enough already. If he keeps fading away like this day after day, then he might disappear without a trace someday. After that he walks into his apartment saying if he should just have ramen for dinner. He then eats the ramen and then turns off the lights when he falls asleep. Outside a bunch of birds are flying when suddenly a bright light appears in the sky. The next day Kim arrives at the office greeting his friends. At lunchtime, his friends ask him to let's eat together when he agrees saying that sounds good. After work he sees off them telling them to have a good evening as they will see them tomorrow. Kim walks back to his home when he says he doesn't have anything for dinner. He then thinks he doesn't feel like going grocery shopping either when he puts his code and opens the door thinking he guess he will just make ramen again. Just as the door opens he gets shocked to see a beautiful girl sitting inside. Kim asks who is she when suddenly the girl looks at him and then stands up while she calls him a hero. She's dressed as a saintess when she tells him it's her. Kim thinks who is she when suddenly he thinks something is in his head. His memories are coming back when he thinks what's this place. He remembers the girl asking him that she has a request for him who has been summoned. Please save their world. All of his memories comes back. He's then remembering the battlefield where he gets gravely injured. The saintess is crying for him when an old man looks at him saying a wicked curse it is. The only way is to send the hero back to his original world. There, the demon king's curse will not be able to exert its power. The saintess calls him archbishop telling him if that happens then the hero will. The bishop tells her, he will lose all his memories from here. However, that's the only way the hero can survive. She gets surprised when she starts crying thinking about the hero. She then looks at him thinking it is sad to lose memories but as long as he lives, he can make new memories again. Kim grabs his head when he looks at her saying so she is saying Nim. Nim looks at him cheerfully when she agrees and then hugs him tightly. Kim falls back when Nim looks at him as she welcomes him back. She leans on Kim telling him she him so much. Kim tells her, he too missed her. He then thinks he doesn't really fully understand yet but he's starting to recall things about her. He then tells Nim, he's slowly remembering bit by bit now when she hugs him again telling him, she's glad with tears in her eyes. While hugging her Kim asks how did she get here. He tells her, he was summoned so he could come back to his world but she wasn't summoned. She agrees telling him she couldn't use the providence of summoning like him so she asks the crows and magpies for help. She tells him, magpies are a good omen welcoming honored guests, and crows guide fallen warriors to the afterlife. They are some of the few beings that can travel between worlds. Kim gets surprised when he asks if she walked here. He starts laughing when she says it's not funny. It was extremely difficult. Moving a being confined to one world is very hard, they said. Kim asks then how did she get here when she tells him she gathered a ton of crows and magpies and then asked them for help. She then giggles telling him 1,000,000 of them when Kim gets shocked asking what. She tells him she went around tirelessly gathering each one. The magpies were satisfied with some millet and red beans but the crows demanded pieces of glass and coral gems. She says it was difficult but it was fun because it was the way to him. She leans up on him telling him it was hard but she was happy. Kim looks at her being flustered when he thinks she's familiar yet unfamiliar. He then hugs her tightly thinking he lost his will to live because he lost her. He definitely loved her. After that he blushes and moves back asking if she hasn't had dinner yet. He then checks for food but he has nothing. He then asks her if she wants to just go out and eat. She agrees. After that the two of them go outside when Kim asks Nim if there's anything she wants to eat. He tells her steak or pasta is probably more familiar to her though. She thinks about it when everyone is ogling at her. Kim thinks punks are openly ogling at her. He then looks at her thinking he expected it with her noticeable beauty, but if those punk harass her then he won't let them off easily. He gets all fired up when suddenly Nim clings onto his arm telling him she wants to eat something. Kim asks what is it when the people looking at her gets angry at him because of jealousy. Nim points at a place telling Kim over there as that place smells really good. Kim looks at the place asking kimchi stew. He then tells her it's quite spiced so will she be okay. She asks if it is more spicy than the cactus dishes in Kadalgado. Kim says it's not spicy as that when she tells him then let's try it. After that they go inside as Nim checks the menu. Looking at the menu she says there are so many fascinating things. She then tells Kim she will have the same as him when Kim agrees. The waitress arrives asking if they are ready to order. Kim agrees telling her they will have 2 kimchi stews. The waitress keeps looking at Nim when Kim thinks she's a bit eye-catching. After a while their food arrives when Nim says it looks super hot. Kim asks her to give him a bowl and he will scoop it for her. She gives him a bowl when he puts the food in and then tells her to enjoy. He tells her it's very hot so she should blow on it when she says it looks very tasty. She then takes a bite when it feels too spicy and she starts panting. Kim thinks it's spicy when he giggles telling her to eat slowly. She tells him she will feed him too when he tells her she doesn't have to. She asks him to please eat when he blushes thinking he often ate this kimchi stew alone but today it just tastes sweet and delicious. After finishing their meal they leave while thanking for the meal. Just then Nim tells Kim she'll take care of the bill. She takes out a pouch telling Kim she has brought these gold coins with her. Kim looks at them when suddenly he gives the cashier his card telling her please use this to pay. Nim gets surprised when she looks at him. After they walk out Nim gets embarrassed saying she guessed they don't use golden coins here. Of course that makes sense when he tells her that's okay, it's understandable. To keep staying in this world she will need that scrap metal like earlier. Kim then asks if she has to go back right away or is there a time limit. Nim disagrees telling him if that's alright with him, then she wants to stay with him. Kim gets flustered when he asks if that's alright of course. Nim gets closer to him when she tells him he said it so clearly. Even if he tells her to go back now, she won't. Kim says she said she will stay with him so he won't listen even if she has any regret later. She asks why would she regret it when he tells her, in case his home smells terrible, or something or his foot odor after work when she starts laughing. Inside the room Kim and Nim both looks at the bed. Nim asks how should she sleep. After a while both of them are lying together on the bed. Nim looks at Kim when she calls him. Kim opens his eyes while responding. She asks him to please come a little closer this way. Kim hesitates telling her that's when suddenly she hugs him from behind asking why is he trying to stay so far away. He will fall onto the floor like that. She snuggles with him when Kim blushes telling her their bodies are touching quite a bit right now. She then calls him asking if he remembers the nights of Ballbridges. She sits up when Kim looks at her agreeing telling her he remembers. The night of Ballbridges when the auroras lasted all month long. Those were the time when the Saintess and he stayed up all night long to fight witches. The witches cursed them with all kinds of spells. Among them was the curse of insomnia. He was gravely wounded by the witch, and the Saintess willingly stayed up 32 nights to heal him. He then tells her he doesn't remember if he apologized for making her stay up while he slept. She tells him he did so many times. He kept sleep talking apologizing for sleeping alone. Kim gets surprised asking he did when she giggles. She agrees telling him she sang him a lullaby and he stopped sleep talking after that. She then looks at him telling him she could sing it for him now too when Kim asks a lullaby. He then tells her that's too embarrassing when she starts singing the lullaby. Kim calls her but eventually falls asleep. The next morning, the alarm rings when Kim looks at his phone thinking it's morning but this way. He looks at Nim as she's sleeping peacefully while hugging him. Just then she opens her eyes when she asks him if he slept well. Kim agrees asking if she slept well. She agrees saying thanks to him it was warm and cozy when he blushes again. He then looks at the time when he tells her he has to go to work now. He gets up when she asks what kind of work does he do here. He tells her just normal work, as he will go wash up first. Inside the bath he thinks it's too embarrassing to say it to her since he's just a low-level office worker at a small-medium company. After taking a bath he says he will live when he walks outside naked. Nim asks what about breakfast when she looks at him and suddenly gets embarrassed turning all red. Kim looks at her asking why does when suddenly he realizes and then hides behind a wall. He gets embarrassed when he apologizes to her asking if she could get him some underwear. She agrees telling him she will bring them when he tells her they are in the bottom drawer of the closet. She opens the drawer asking what color should she pick when he tells her anything. She then gives him a pair when he takes it while thanking her. After that she helps him get dressed up telling him to have a good day. Kim agrees when he tells her there's food in the fridge but if she needs anything then she should use the card he gave her yesterday to buy it. Just then she hugs him asking if she can come along. He tells her workplaces here have strict rules so she can't. He will try to come home as early as possible today. Starting tomorrow is the weekend so he's off when she agrees telling him to have a good day. She then sees him off when Kim waves her goodbye telling her he's off to work now. At his office he greets everyone when everyone looks at him in surprise. Kim looks extra bright and cheerful. On the other hand, in the apartment Nim looks at a crow when she thanks him. The crow gets angry at her when she asks if it could bring Kim here from work this time. Just as the crow was chirping suddenly a cat jumps up towards the crow startling Nim. Nim falls back on the ground when she sighs and then feels happy. She thinks about Kim wondering what is he doing right now. During lunch break Kim asks what menu should they get when his coworker asks if something good happened. Kim gets startled when he disagrees. He tells his coworker he just looks better when he smiles a lot. His coworker agrees telling him he looks handsome when he smiles when Kim thanks him. After that at work he thinks there's not much left until he's off work. If he keeps this up. Just then his co-worker calls him asking if he could look over this material quickly before leaving when Kim agrees. Kim thinks he needs to get home quickly though because Nim must be waiting for him. After that he tells his co-workers he is going home now when he leaves. During his way back he thinks what should he eat with the Saintess tonight. It's a pleasant worry to have. Just having someone waiting for him at home makes the commute back so happy. He walks towards his apartment thinking right now he's very happy when suddenly the door opens and Nim greets him welcoming him back. The alarm rings when Kim turns it off and then gets up. He stretches his body when he looks at Nim. Nim is looking at him when she asks if he sleep well. He agrees asking if she sleep well while thinking come to think of it she probably needs a lot of things, clothes and stuff. He looks at her thinking today is Saturday so he should take her out for shopping. Just then she ruffles his hair when she starts laughing telling him his bed head makes him look like a porcupine human. She starts playing with his hair when he laughs too while thinking she seems to like his messy hair. How cute. She then asks he said he's off today. Kim agrees telling her it's the weekend. In this world they take 2 days off a week when she gets surprised asking 2 whole days off. He agrees, telling her in a few years he might get 3 days a week off when she gets surprised. She then asks, then during those long holidays what did he do to pass the time? He looks at her thinking, what did he do to pass time? He went to PC rooms or just stayed at home on his phone. He didn't really have any hobbies, telling her not much. She tells him she thought he would go out to the mountains to play because he really loved animals, didn't he? He thinks in that world old animals could talk to humans. He found that fascinating, so he went to the mountains. He then tells her to let's stop talking about hobbies and go shopping. She asks shopping when he tells her to buy her things to use. After a while, Nim gets out of the bath when she tells Kim to go wash up. Kim looks at her when he blushes, thinking that's the towel he used. For her to use his towel, he needs to buy her stuff quickly. Just then he realizes something when he asks her, last night, what did she use to brush? She asks brush, saying oopsies. She acts cute when he asks what oopsie? She used his stuff. She says well, what can she do? They shared stuff all the time in the Yormnum swamp. Towels, toothbrushes, and even underwear when he tells her they didn't share underwear. After that, inside the store, Nim gets excited, saying there are so many items. She looks around, saying it is piled up like a mountain of things. Could this be the main store run directly by Master Sangdangju? He tells her it's a bit different, as he will slowly explain. She says there are so many fascinating things when she starts checking things. He looks at her thinking he's glad she is enjoying it. She then tells him there are so many fun things in his world when he laughs. He then looks at people looking at her weirdly when he thinks anyway her noticeable clothes and looks. After that, Nim is checking the price tags when she tells Kim the prices are all similar. He tells her this store's motto is selling at the lowest possible prices, so most products here are between 1,000 to 1,500. She asks how much is 1,001 worth here. Kim thinks for a moment when he tells her the kimchi stew they ate the day before yesterday was 8,001 per serving. She asks how much is that when he says how to explain this. He then tells so it's around the average price of a meal, he guess. She says then 8,001 is 2 golden coins and 1,001 is a quarter of a golden coin. Kim thinks she's studying exchange rates using kimchi stew when suddenly she notices makeup. She tells him makeup is 5,001 and 3,002. She gets all excited, asking so they can buy makeup with 1 coin when he looks at her thinking he understands why she is so excited. That's because cosmetics were luxury goods only to be used by nobles and merchants. Of course, with the church's support she could have bought crates of cosmetics if she wanted to, but she refused, saying that she could not use the devotees' donations for personal use. He remembers one time the saintess was standing alone in a party. Kim is also there when a girl approaches him, telling him he looks lovely, so may she have this dance. Kim apologizes to the girl, telling her he has a partner when he walks towards Nim. He tells her she must be bored standing alone when she tells him she's fine. Kim then says they're celebrating the subjugation, and yet they, the subjugated ones, are stuck at a boring party when he tells her not to be so blunt. He then tells her to let's dance together when she agrees. However, to him, rather than an expensively dressed noblewoman, she was far more beautiful with her bare face. Accidentally he speaks it out aloud when she gets flustered. He gets surprised, asking if he said that out loud when she agrees. He tells her well it's the truth when she clears her throat. He then tells her to feel free to pick out any makeup she wants when she disagrees, telling him she doesn't want any because he said she is pretty without makeup. She looks at him when he gets flustered, thinking he's really going to live with her, so he should buy her clothes and a phone too. With this, their life together starts when she clings at him. At the cash counter, the cashier tells him his total is 103,000,001 when Kim gets shocked, thinking living together means his money flies out of the window. After shopping, they both get back to the apartment. The things are all piled up when Kim asks them to firstly let's organize the stuff. She agrees. As they were organizing the stuff, Nim asks Kim where should she put the detergent and shampoo. He asks her to see if there's any place left in the bottom of the closet. Just as she was putting them down, she suddenly finds something when she asks him to look here. Kim looks at her in confusion when she tells him there's something like transparent jellyfish leather. She looks so happy when she tells him it makes interesting sounds. She presses the paper when it pops. Kim looks at her being childish when he starts laughing. She tells him to look at this as if they press a lot at once, then they all pop at the same time. Looking at her, Kim burst out laughing. She apologizes, telling him she will clean it up quickly when Kim tells her it was cute. After organizing the stuff, both of them feels relieved, saying they are just about done. Kim then asks her if she wants an ice cream. Nim asks if he means that sweet ice he bought earlier. Kim agrees, telling her eating ice cream after working is another treat. He then takes out the ice cream, asking her to have some. She takes the ice cream as she takes a bite. She then gets happy, telling him it's delicious. Kim looks at her enjoying the treat. After a while, Kim slowly opens his eyes when he says he dozed off. He yawns when he looks at Nim sleeping peacefully on his shoulder. She's looking quite beautiful when he gets mesmerized by her beauty while thinking she's so cute. He then touches her hair when suddenly she wakes up and then yawns. Kim asks if she sleep well when she asks if she sleep for long. He tells her he fell asleep too when both of their stomachs growls. Kim tells her it's time for dinner, asking what should they eat. She tells him to let's see what he wants today. He thinks what he wants to eat, asking how about they try some jangmyeon. She asks what's that when he tells her people here often eat it when moving. They are noodles mixed with black bean sauce. She tells him she can't imagine the taste of it when he asks her to try it once, as he will order it right away. He then orders the food when after some time the delivery arrives. He takes out the food when she looks at it, saying it smells delicious. He tells her it's not fancy or expensive, but he enjoys it when she tells him it looks so tasty. She then tells him when they traveled the continent with just a backpack they ate all sorts of things. He agrees when he tells her to eat it before it gets cold. She agrees when she starts praying, thanking the sun for warming them and lightening the world today. Kim thinks she never fails to pray before meals, telling her to enjoy when he snaps the chopsticks. She gets surprised when he tells her she can split the disposable chopsticks, asking if she wants to try. She gets all excited when she agrees. After that, she tries to break the chopsticks into two when suddenly one of the chopstick breaks. She gets sad when Kim tells her he will get her new ones. She tells him he doesn't have to when he tells so it's okay, telling her to use these. He then pours the soup on the noodles when she looks at him, asking so they eat it poured like this. Just as she was trying to pour it on her noodles, Kim tells her to stop when she gets startled. She asks why when he tells her she can't pour it on that. She says seeing him panic like that, it must be a very serious issue when he agrees, telling her it's extremely important. After eating the food, she says she is stuffed when he tells her it's a bit oily and heavy, but it is tasty. Nim says still it suited her taste when Kim looks at her stomach being all fattened. Kim looks at it and starts laughing, telling her stomach when she gets embarrassed. Seeing that she gets embarrassed when she tells him to go wash up as she will clean up. She then pushes him out when he smiles as he looks at her things in the bathroom. He then feels happy when she asks if he is done washing up. He agrees, telling her she can go wash up now. The next day, both of them are eating together when Kim tells Nim they are going shopping today. She gets surprised asking shopping as he said they weren't shopping anymore. He bought so much for her yesterday already. He tells her today they are going to buy clothes for her. After that, inside of a shopping mall, a bunch of clothes and dresses are displayed. Nim looks at them and gets excited, saying there are so many clothes. Looking at her, Kim thinks how long has it been since he has been to such a big department store. She asks him to make these many clothes they would need a national level weaving industry when he thinks he will explain it to her later. She gets excited, telling him he's amazing bringing her to such an incredible place. He looks at her enjoying herself when he thinks she's happy seeing pretty clothes just as expected. He then tells her to go on to any place she likes when she agrees. After that, they walk inside a big shop when she looks at a beautiful dress displayed on a mannequin. She says she has never seen such a big doll, asking Kim they didn't use magic to freeze people like this. Kim gets surprised when he tells her absolutely not, it's just a mannequin for clothes. She feels relieved when she looks at the dress again. Kim looks at it asking if she likes this when she agrees, telling him even the church rarely has fabrics like this. Only royalty has. Kim gets sad thinking he will buy her lots of pretty clothes, asking her to try it on once. She gets surprised asking if she can just randomly try on clothes. Kim agrees, telling her she can, when suddenly a lady appears out of nowhere when she welcomes both of them, asking them to feel free to try anything on. Looking at her, Kim gets startled when the old lady tells Nim she has such a refined aura. This design is perfect for her, as she thought she was a foreign model. Nim asks model in confusion when Kim tells her it means pretty. The shopkeeper then welcomes them inside, telling them the lines on the dress are very flattering, so it will suit her slender figure perfectly. She gives the dress to Nim, telling her to go ahead and try it on when Nim asks really. She asks if she can just try it on, how fascinating. Kim tells her here she can try clothes on before buying them when she says that's really interesting. The shopkeeper thinks if this is her first time clothes shopping. Nim says she will go change then when Kim agrees. After a while, she comes back wearing the dress when she asks him how is it. Kim tells her it's so pretty when Nim says she likes it. Kim then asks the shopkeeper how much is this when she tells him it's on sale now, so 6890001. Kim gets shocked thinking that's almost 700,000. The shopkeeper tells him new members get 5% off here when Kim thinks even if it was 50% off it exceeds his budget. Even if the Saintess really wants it, he can't buy it, but he hesitates when Nim approaches Kim and whispers to him to let's not get this. Kim gets surprised asking why, as she said she liked it when she tells him it's 10 golden coins. Just as expected, prices are high at a central market. Kim says but when she tells him she will go change back, so let's go, while Kim agrees. After a while, she asks them where does he usually buy his clothes when he takes her to a discount section, telling her he usually shop in sections like this. He feels bad for her when she tells him there seems to be lots of clothes here too, as they are all piled up like a mountain. Kim tells her but she should wear expensive clothes when she picks up a dress, asking if she can try these clothes on too. Kim agrees while thinking actually he wanted to buy her nice expensive clothes for her, but he's sorry. After changing, she asks how is this outfit when Kim tells her it looks great. She asks really when Kim agrees, telling her it's really pretty. She tells him it's more comfortable to move, and then the last one when he tells her she's beautiful in anything. Both of them feels flustered looking at each other. After that, Kim tells her to let's look around at more clothes when she agrees. Both of them spend their time together checking and buying stuff when Nim thanks Kim. He disagrees, telling her getting her what she needs brought him so much joy. Just as they both were talking to each other, suddenly a shopkeeper greets them, asking they are giving out cosmetic samples to celebrate their store opening. Nim asks really when the shopkeeper agrees, telling her just for women, so if she could write down her name and contact information. Kim looks at her thinking right, she needs ID and registration to live here. He can't always be with her. More situations like this will arise when he tells the shopkeeper it's okay. He then thinks in her world she suffered for him. She taught him various things and protected him. When he first arrived in her world, he wandered around lost for a long time, so he understands how she feels right now. Simply buying clothes and necessities won't help her belong here, so he needs to help her adapt and live in Korea. He has to help her, so first he should buy her a phone. He keeps on staring at her when she asks if she has something on her face. He disagrees when he suddenly thanks her. She gets surprised asking why so suddenly, as he bought her clothes. He giggles when she asks what did he think. He says he will tell her later. He then says he's hungry, so if she wants anything when she tells him she wants kimchi stew. He thinks her taste buds have totally become Korean. Kim is getting ready to go to work when he thinks it felt like the weekend ended in a blink, but from now on he get to come home to the Saintess. Nim wakes up when she looks at him. Kim greets her when she asks if he's heading out already. He tells her he overslept a bit, so he has to rush to get ready. She asks if she should start waking him up from now on when he tells her he will really appreciate her. He then tells her he's off when she asks if he's sure that he doesn't need breakfast. He needs to eat properly. He tells her he will have a proper lunch he promised while thinking he will just grab a rice ball or a piece of bread. He then asks if she's carrying the thing he bought her yesterday. She agrees, telling him it is called a smartphone while showing it to him. He then asks if she remembers how to call him with it. She agrees, telling him she just think of him and then press the one like this when she dials a call. Kim tells her it's ringing. That's perfect when she gets happy when he looks at her thinking she's so cute. He then tells her he has got to go, so if anything happens be sure to call him. He then leaves when she tells him to travel safely. After that, in the office, Kim looks at his work saying seriously. He says what the hell is he supposed to do now? It's completely useless. He then looks at his screen when he sighs, thinking not a single useful piece of information. He needs to get her a legal identity, as he can't just keep putting it off forever. He then thinks, but it's not like he has to do it immediately. He stretches his body thinking he will just start with whatever he can do right now, which is buying cosmetics for the Saintess. He then checks different websites when after a bit he thinks this is as hard as creating identity. He thinks toner, contour, what even is this, and why are there so many kinds? He gets dizzy, saying what should he do when his coworker notices him. She looks at him asking if he isn't eating lunch. He looks at her telling her he will grab a bite after he searched for a bit. She asks search when she looks at his screen saying women cosmetics. She asks if he got a girlfriend or something when he agrees. She asks for real, telling him that's nice. He giggles when she asks if he needs help choosing. He asks really, as that would help a lot, while thinking so she's a meddlesome type. She then asks if he knows her skin type or personal color. He disagrees, telling her he wants it to be a surprise, so he didn't ask. She says then something neutral is probably the safest. She then tells him her boyfriend doesn't even care about his skin tone and is always picking random stuff. She then gets serious when he thinks she's all fired up. She tells him this one has bad reviews and this one might be rough on sensitive skin. She then tells him this is the one, asking what's the verdict when he looks at the product, telling her, that's perfect. She then tells him this is the one, asking what's the verdict when he looks at the product, telling her, that's perfect. She tells him about the product when he tells her it's perfect while thanking her. He then asks how did she find it so quickly when she tells him just a few hacks she has picked up during work. He thinks so basically she was slacking off. She then asks him to let her know what his girlfriend thinks of it. If it's good, then she will get her boyfriend to buy it for her too. He agrees when she looks at the time, telling him it's already that late, so well then she will be off. He tells her he will treat her to coffee next time. Kim then says payment complete when he orders the goods. He says he hopes she likes it, as he can't wait to see her reaction to this surprise. Just then his phone rings when he thinks a bunch of messages in a row. Is it spam? He checks his phone when he gets happy to see that the messages are from Nim. He reads the text thinking she was trying to say please eat his lunch properly. He thinks she probably types each letter carefully for him when he texts her back asking her to make sure she also eats properly. He chats with her thinking she's so cute. In the evening he says he is heading out now when his team thanks him for his hard work. On his way back he thinks, how about that ID? Should he go to the court or the city hall? Also, what should he make for dinner? His phone rings again when he thinks it's his phone again. He checks it thinking it's his Saintess when she asks when will he come back home. He tells her he just got on the train so he will be back in like 30 minutes. She types you when he gets surprised but then realizes that she has mistyped it. After getting off the train he was walking when suddenly Nim calls him and clings onto him when he gets surprised. He looks at her asking if she came all the way here to pick him up, but it's cold outside. She tells him it's not cold at all when she sneezes. He tells her lying like that is no good, so she should repent when she tells him she will repent. Just then he gives her his coat when she gets surprised. He then asks if they walk home then when she agrees. She then tells him earlier today she was talking with Aunt Yoshiko and when he laughs. That night as they both are sleeping a mosquito is flying. Just then Nim calls the mosquito saying if it keeps doing that then it will cause trouble for their hero. She understands she's doing it for her kids but don't disturb his sleep again because he has work tomorrow. If it messes with his sleep again then she will have no choice when the mosquito flies away. Thanks to that, hero was able to sleep soundly. Kim is waiting for the train when he thinks, on a nice day like this he really doesn't feel like going to work, but the Saintess is waiting at home for him. He remembers her when he thinks let's give it their best today. At his office he looks at his monitor when he says today's payday. He clicks on the mail when he thinks well it's not like it's anything to be thrilled about. It's not like all of this money is his. Most of it ends up leaving from him. His phone rings when he reaches for it thinking what now? He then thinks guess who forgot to pay off his credit card when his phone shows him the October payment summary. Kim gets surprised thinking his salary as the moment it comes in, it's already gone. His living expenses, Saintess necessities and the future is looking bleak. He thinks he wants to go on a proper date at least once a month, but their expenses will only get worse from here. If he wants to keep living with her then it's going to get expensive. What can he even cut back on? Just as he was thinking that suddenly someone taps on his shoulder calling for him. He gets startled when he looks at them. His chief asks if he wants to go grab a coffee up on the roof. Kim agrees while thinking does he have something to tell him. On the roof both of them are standing together when his subordinate opens the coffee. His subordinate calls him. Kim calls him second chief when the chief says it looks like he has got something on his mind. He figured he should check up on him about his pay. Kim asks about his salary when the chief says honestly it's not much, he has got a girlfriend to take out and drinks with friends, when Kim thinks yes it's definitely not enough. The chief then says he isn't sure if he should even suggest this, but they have got a bunch of projects lined up. He asks him if he's open to working overtime until they get more hires. They have been told to make do with the current staff. He has been pushing for more hires but Kim thinks overtime when he remembers Nim. He thinks maybe now he can buy her something even nicer. Just then the chief tells him 2,500 yen per hour for 4 hours a day. Kim thinks that's 10,000 yen per day. Chief tells him it will be paid in cash to keep it off the books. It's technically not allowed, so it includes hush money. Kim thinks if it's cash then it won't get taxed either. The chief then tells him there's no pressure, as he wants him to think it over and decide for himself. Kim agrees when he thanks him for considering him. The chief tells him he will head back now, so just think it through and let him know while Kim agrees. Kim then thinks 10,000 yen a day, as if the others found out about this then they will all want it. 4 hours a day, as for a whole month it's 200,000 yen. He then thinks he will talk to the saintess when he get home before deciding. After that he rushes back to home when Em opens the door while greeting him happily. She tells him she made soup using the miso paste they got from the neighbor. Kim agrees while thinking she's already feeling totally at home here. She tells him to go take a shower because the dinner is just about to be ready. Just then Kim calls her, telling her there's something he wants to talk to her about. He hesitates, thinking at work it sounded like a good opportunity, but now that he sees her face he can't bring himself to say it. She looks at him in confusion, asking what's wrong because he's making such a serious face. He tells her well, this place is kind of small so it must be uncomfortable. She tells him not at all, because if she's with him then anywhere is fine. They used to sleep in way worse places. When he laughs, saying he guessed, but actually at work they offered him a way to make more money. She asks if it isn't supposed to be a good thing, but after listening to the whole story she shouts, telling him no way. She tells him she doesn't want him coming home even later than he already does. Absolutely not. He tries to say something when she tells him currently she only gets to be with him for 12 hours a day, and he is asleep for 8 of those. She then starts crying when he calls her. She apologizes for being selfish, but for her even one day feels really long. After seeing him off in the morning she counts the hours until he's back. After 9 comes 10, then 11, 8 more hours, as it feels like she's waiting forever. She then asks if he really needs to work even more than he already does because she's already happy with what they have. He stays silent when he tells her he's happy too, but he thinks his current earnings can't support their life together. He has been dipping into his savings bit by bit, but eventually that will run out too, and when that happens this life they have now will collapse. That's why he wants to start saving now so they can build a better future. She came all the way here because she believed in him, but someday he wants them to live not in this tiny room but in a proper home together. He understands how she feels too. She gave up everything she knew and loved just to follow him, and yet here he is saying that they will spend even less time together. To convince her he needs to be honest when he tells her the thing is. She looks at him when he thinks he knows he should be honest, but he just doesn't want to say it. He then remembers the other world when she asks he rescued a child who was kidnapped by a goblin horde. He's amazing. He tells her the village chief said they will craft her a sword as thanks, but in this world his team leader scolds him, telling him he can't even write a proper report. He apologizes for it. He then compares both of his lives when he thinks she only knows him as a hero who saved the world, but the real him is just an underpaid office grunt. Still he has to tell her the truth, as the truth is he's consumed by inferiority, and he's pathetic ordinary. He then tells her he's a completely unremarkable person when she gets surprised as she looks at him. Kim tells her he's no hero. He's just Kanemaru Yusha, a bottom-feeder office grunt at a small company, and yet she still calls him that. She looks at him when he tells her to her he was the one who defeated the demon lord, but here he has no powers, no wealth, no connections. He is just a boring ordinary nobody. He thinks, what have he even done with his life? Was he just drifting around lost after losing his memories? He can't use that excuse anymore, as he has wasted too much time. If he had used his time properly, and if he had worked harder, then he could have gotten into a better company. He could have accomplished something with his own effort. Gotten a better job, saved more, and at the very least if he had just made some kind of a life plan, then maybe he could have welcomed her with confidence. He looks at her thinking he has been avoiding these thoughts on purpose, but now the guilt is eating at him. He knows how hard it is for her to live like this. He can't even buy her proper clothes. He then apologizes to her, telling her he really wanted them to live somewhere better than this. He thinks, could they even keep living like this? He then tells her it must be tough for her too, as if he was better at his job. When he turns 30, even 40, then will they still be smiling together in this single-room apartment? If he truly cares about her, then wouldn't someone better than him be? Just then she shouts his name when she grabs his hand. He gets surprised when he looks at her. Just then she tells him she didn't fall in love with him because he's strong or rich or popular. If that was all it took, then she would have fallen for the demon lord because he had plenty of that. Kim looks at her in surprise when she asks if he's saying she should have fallen for him instead. She tells him love is the purest emotion in the world, and maybe that's why it is the hardest to understand, but the time she spent with him, every single moment, is dear to her. If all that precious time builds into fond memories, then isn't that love enough? Even in this little room when she's with him, she cherishes every second. That's why when he talks down about himself it makes her angry. It feels like she's the only one who valued their time together. He tells her that's not true because it was precious to him too, but all he can do is sacrifice the present to work towards their future. She asks what does he mean by that when he tells her he wants to spend more time with her. She says her too when he says he meant way more time. 10 years, 20 years, or even 30. She gets flustered when he says that's why he wants to make her life more comfortable. She tells him she likes their current life when he disagrees, telling her what he really means is that he wants a future. He wants them to move into a proper home, one with enough space, a proper bathroom, a kitchen, wood flooring, clean walls, and once they can live in a place like that, then he wants to properly propose to her to build a family with her. Laugh, cry, chat, and maybe even argue sometimes and grow old together, so please marry him, and after they talk it through, then one day he would like them to have a child. He's sure they will be adorable like her. He wants to raise them to feel worthy of love. Fill their room with toys and books, and once they grow up and move out he wants to sit beside her on the couch. Sip some warm tea and reminisce about life. Maybe they will complain that their child never calls anymore, or how their knees ache, and maybe they will remember their days in this tiny apartment, or their adventures together. He wants to live that kind of life with her, but currently that dream can only be a dream, so what he can do now is to sell today's time to buy the dreams of the future. That's all for a chance to make it reality, and that's why he brought up overtime. Hearing all this, Nim jumps towards them and hugs him tightly. He gets surprised when she asks in that future he imagined what is she to him. He tells her she's the person he wants to live with. He wants to walk through life with her. She says then shouldn't they build that future together when he says he guess. She tells him then she will work too when he gets surprised. She tells him that way they will earn more and he would have to work overtime. Let her build this dream together with him. He tells her but without an ID, working here would be difficult. When she tells him then she will just get an ID made. He thinks he thought about that too, but it's not easy. It looked completely extremely complicated, telling her he doesn't want to force her into anything. She tells him of course it will be hard, but could it really be harder than crossing worlds? She crossed the Crow Bridge just to see him, and she did it alone, so if they are together then they can do anything. Let's build their home together and let's raise their cute kids together. Stay together, be happy. The two of them forever. Hearing this, Kim hugs her tightly when he tells her to let's look into it together. Getting an ID, finding a job when she agrees. He then asks how about she let go of him now when she disagrees, telling him her face is a mess right now. He tells her same here, so it's fine when she asks really and looks at him crying. Just then she bursts out laughing, telling him he looks terrible right now when he laughs too, saying so do her. He says her tears streaks are awful, but still her crying face is ridiculously cute. She says if he says that then she just sounds mean. He then calls her when she looks at him. He thanks her when she says that was nice, but there's one more thing she wants to hear when he tells her he loves her. She blushes heavily, telling him how unfair because she just stopped crying. He looks at her thinking someday, even if it's just staying here in this tiny room, he hopes they still laugh like this together. After they opened up to each other, he felt even closer to her. At his office he thinks with a good lawyer it looks like there are even cases where stateless refugees have gained citizenship. Just then someone asks if he printed the file they sent when he gets startled, saying not yet, but he will do it right now. He thinks but the problem is. After that, as he was printing the file, he thinks these last few days have been so hectic that he hasn't had time for anything else, or maybe it's been weeks not days. Wake up, go to work, come home, sleep, wake up, work again. He even worked through the weekend. He hasn't properly looked at Nim's face in ages, as if this keeps up then he's going to forget what she looks like. Just then someone asks if it's done yet when he gets startled again, and agrees, saying he will bring it over right now. He thinks this is too much. A few days later on his way back he thinks please let him go home on time today. Just then he notices a sale when he thinks today is November 11th. He completely forgot, so should he buy something while he can? He then disagrees, thinking today has already been hectic. Not all his coworkers knows that he has a girlfriend yet, so he will just head to work for now. He then reaches his office and do his work as usual. Just then he and his coworkers get shocked when Kim says scheduling a meeting at this time is way too sudden. They have been buried in reports and start scrambling to finish the presentation. His coworker tells him everything hit them all at once, so it's been rough. Just then the chief says but somehow they got it all done by today. Kim's coworker says now that he thinks about it, today is November 11th, so he wonders if someone will give him anything. Kim gets surprised, thinking he's in his 30s, but still full of hope when his coworker says but Yusha has someone to exchange gifts with. Just then Kim spits out his coffee, asking how does he know that when both of them looks at him weirdly. He asks the chief don't tell him when she winks at him, asking him not to blame her because anyone could tell just by looking at him. He gets shocked when his coworker laughs, telling him he had that goofy smile on while looking at those gifts, and he really thought no one would notice. The chief tells him being in love makes his skin glow, so maybe she should dump her boyfriend and find someone new. She then asks him he has got a date after work today when Kim agrees. She asks if he's giving her the cosmetics she picked out for him when the coworker asks when did this happen. Kim agrees while thinking it hasn't arrived yet because of shipping delays, but he hoped they at least have Pocky in stock. On his way back he gets shocked to see that's also sold out. He says this is the 6th store when he rushes to another store, asking the cashier if she has any Pocky. She looks at him in surprise when she tells him if it's not there then they are completely out. She tells him they are out of stock when Kim looks sad, thinking there were a few left near the office so he should have bought them. Just as he was thinking that, suddenly she asks if he doesn't mind then would he like this one, as she offers him a box. He asks seriously when she tells him she bought it as a snack for herself, but he looked pretty desperate, so if this helps. He gets emotional when he thanks her very much, telling her to let him at least pay her back. She disagrees, telling him it's fine, so please just take it when he says still while thanking her. As he walks out the store he says it feels weird to give her just this when suddenly Nim calls his name and clings onto his arm. He looks at her, asking she came to pick him up. It's cold so she should have stayed home. She giggles when she tells him thanks to this she's plenty warm, as she shows him the heating pads. He gets shocked, telling her not to pull her shirt up as they should just hurry home. He thinks it's better to show her once they are back while he puts the Pocky box inside his bag. On his way back a parcel is lying in front of the door when she tells Kim that box wasn't here earlier. He picks up the box from the ground, thinking the cosmetics finally arrived. She asks what is that when he tells her to let's open it together once they are inside because it's a present for her. She gets surprised as they both walk in. After that he say now that they have finished dinner, here she goes when he gives her the gift. She looks at the gift, asking if this is makeup. He agrees, telling her she said once she wanted to try feeling like a princess, but to him she's already beautiful just the way she is. She thanks him, telling him she's so happy. She then asks what should she do as it feels too precious to use. He tells her to please use it because he bought it just for her. He then tells her, here is a bonus gift, but it's a bit small for a bonus when he hands out the Pocky box. She asks what is this when he tells her today is a kind of couples memorial day in this world. Nim in shock asks a Memorial Day when he gets shocked thinking that's right. In her world, Memorial Days are usually tied to religion. He then disagrees, telling her it's no big deal when she says she didn't do anything for him. He disagrees, telling her that's not it. It's not something religious but just a simple celebration for couples. People usually exchange chocolate or snacks when she says then she gets sad, saying she was gifted makeup and dessert, and yet she has nothing to offer. He tells her it's fine really because she only just arrived in this world. She shouldn't worry about it. She looks at the box when she asks him to close his eyes for her. He gets surprised when he closes his eyes, asking like this. He then hears a noise when he thinks what was that sound. He hears a rustling sound when suddenly Nim puts her finger in his mouth covered in chocolate. He looks at her when she tells him it's strawberry pocky. He gets flustered when he thanks her for the meal and jumps up at her while she tells him she's not pocky. Kim is working on his computer checking for different lawyers. He thinks getting a lawyer really is the smartest move, but he doesn't have much time or money right now. He starts searching while thinking he should really talk to an expert. No matter what, he has got to get the Saint's Japanese citizenship. Just then his chief calls him, asking what has he been digging into so seriously every day lately. He gets startled by her sudden appearance when he calls her. She looks at his computer screen, saying she isn't exactly sure what it exactly is, but he's definitely been giving it his all. Kim thinks he has been found out when she tells him he has been skipping lunch just to keep searching, so he must be desperate. He agrees, telling her he really needs to figure this out soon. She asks if it's someone close to him who is in trouble. He agrees, telling her it's someone important. She says in that case would he like her to introduce someone she knows. Kim gets surprised when he looks at her, asking really. She tells him her friend goes to law school and has a lot of connections with lawyers when he tells her he would really appreciate that. He thinks he can't believe he's this lucky right now when she tells him to hold on because she will message them right now. She tells him they are a senior working in that exact field, so want her to contact them when Kim agrees while thanking her. She then says in return, introduce her to a sweet reliable guy when he gets surprised, asking what happened to her boyfriend. Chief gets annoyed, asking him not to even mention that jerk when he thinks great they had another fight. She then tells him she just sent him their contact information when he checks his phone and agrees while thanking her again. He then thinks finally he has made some progress. During break he calls the number. They pick up the phone when Kim greets them. They ask if he wouldn't happen to be Kanemaru Yusha when Kim agrees, telling her that that's him. She tells him she heard a little about his situation. He has got a friend who is a refugee and he wants to help them get nationality. Kim agrees, telling her it's a bit of a complicated case, but yes. She then asks if it's alright with him, could they meet tonight after she get off work. Kim asks, really, telling her that would be a huge help. He then asks if she's nearby by any chance. He tells her that's great to hear, asking her to meet at the cafe in front of the station. The call ends when Kim gets happy. After some time, Kim walks inside of a cafe when Nim calls his name and waves at him. She tells him to come over there when he looks at her. He then apologizes for keeping her waiting when she disagrees, telling him she just got here. He then tells her to wait until the lawyer arrives before they order anything, so for now how about some tea, when she agrees. After a bit his phone rings when he excuses himself and picks up the call. He then tells the lawyer they are inside the cafe right now when a girl walks in. Kim looks at her wondering if that's her when she looks at him. After that she gives them her card, telling both of them she's attorney, Kai's Seiji. Kim greets her, saying it's nice to meet her when he introduces himself and the Saintess. Kai's then asks them firstly how are they both connected, as she heard that they are acquaintances. They both tell her they are a couple in sync when she asks them to please tell her about the situation. She tells them to just speak as if they are talking to a friend. Kim agrees when he tells her the whole story. After listening she says so the Saintess came here to meet Kim, but she's not even sure what country was she originally from. Nim agrees when Kai says she doesn't even have an ID and her passport when she confused. Kim looks at her thinking he knew it, that it's not going to be easy. Just then Kai tells them in this case there are two paths that they can take. One is to apply for a refugee status, and the other is to file a petition for resolving stateless status. Kim thinks he has heard about the refugee applications, but what exactly does stateless means? He then asks what's the difference between that and a refugee. Kai tells him in simple terms, stateless people have no family registry, which means they have no legal identity. Sometimes elderly folks fall into this category, and they help them register from scratch. If refugee status is approved, then they are registered as refugees. They get public aid like health insurance, but strictly speaking they are not recognized as Japanese citizens. On the other hand, if a stateless person files for resolution, then they can officially recognize as a citizen. Kim asks if someone is approved as stateless and resolved, then they can be recognized as a citizen, so would it be better to go through that route? Kai tells him it might make day-to-day life easier. That said, in Saint's case, stateless status might be tricky. She looks at Nim saying she's really beautiful, but let's be real. She doesn't look Japanese. Kai then asks him he also don't see her as Japanese either when he agrees. Kai tells them stateless petitions are usually aimed at elderly individuals, and she would also need to file a family registry. That means a personal statement about her and tons of supporting documents. Kim gets surprised by all this when Kai says in other words she will need records proving she has been living in Japan, like school records and medical visit history. Kim says then maybe refugee status is better. Kai then asks him if he knows Japan's refugee approval rate. Kim disagrees when Kai tells him it's under 2%, and that's actually up from before. Kim asks what in astonishment when Kai tells them she hates to say this, but legally she might be labeled as an illegal immigrant or overstayer and face deportation. Getting her legal residency in Japan is really going to be really difficult. Nim gets surprised asking deportation when Kim thinks what do they do? Just then Kai says they said they are a couple. She then says it's just a thought, but she has seen a few familiar cases. She tells them they could try registering their marriage when both of them get shocked. Kim asks marriage registration when Kai's agrees, saying but before that he should apply for refugee status. She starts typing on her laptop, telling him she will look up the nearest immigration bureau and she will send him the details later. If he applies for refugee status, then he will be allowed to stay legally while his application is under review. The process usually takes around 6 months. If they are granted work permission, then they can also get a job. They will have access to welfare services and health checkups too. Kim gets surprised, saying just from applying even if they are not officially recognized as refugees. Kai's agrees, telling him that's right. Of course he will need to fill out the application paperwork, but it's not all that troublesome. They will just need to complete the application form, a written explanation of their situation, a photo and a health certificate. Kim feels relieved, thinking if that's all then he can get everything ready pretty quickly. He then asks what do they do after that, when Kai tells him once they have applied for refugee status then they will have about 6 months. During that time get married and start living as husband and wife, when both of them blushes heavily. Kim asks live together as a married couple as if she means. Nim suddenly puts her hand on her stomach when Kai gets shocked, telling them that's not what she means. Just live together, share a home and daily life like any couple would. Kim tells her that's not an issue because they are already living together when he giggles. Kai tells him that's good to hear, so before he receives the result of his refugee application get married and apply for a spouse visa. She tells him she's not a visa expert though, so he should consult a certified administrative scrivener who specializes in immigration. Kim gets confused, asking where are they supposed to find an immigration specialist, asking if he can take notes. She tells him she will send him the information later but feel free to jot things down now. Kim agrees, telling her he will write it down just in case. After that Kai asks if everything is clear up to the spouse visa when Kim agrees. She tells them if they have been living together even before getting married or even before that then the spouse visa is more likely to be approved than refugee status. Even if their refugee application is denied, if their spouse visa is approved then they can still live here legally, and after 3 years of marriage they will meet the requirements for naturalization and they will be able to apply for citizenship. Kim gets happy, thinking he didn't know there was a path like this. Lawyers really do know their stuff, as if they get married and Saintis becomes a citizen then he would be so happy when he looks at her. After that he thanks Kai-san when she tells him not at all because it's her job. She then asks by the way would they both like to stay for dinner. They should feel free to ask anything while they eat. Kim sits back when Kai says there's something she has been meaning to ask. The food arrives when Kai asks how did they both meet. Both of them looks at her silently when Nim tells her in her hometown there was a really terrible person. Kai asks a really terrible person when Nim agrees, telling her someone incredibly strong. They use their strength to oppress everyone like a mafia boss. Kim agrees, telling her pretty much when Kai asks what does that have to do with Kim. Nim tells her he defeated that horrible person for them when Kai starts imagining things. Kim looks at her thinking if he even looks like someone who could beat a mafia boss. Kai says that's amazing when Nim tells her but there's something even more amazing, asking guess what it is. She tells Kai he was super popular in her hometown, and even if he was just walking down the street, women would line up just to catch a glimpse, but he only ever looked at her and then that bad person. The Demon King tells Kim as if he joins him now then he will give him all of his women. He tells Kim with this harem of succubi he will forget the Saintess standing behind him. Just then Kim tells him not to mess with him because the only one he cares about is the Saintess. Kim feels embarrassed, thinking why is she telling such an embarrassing story while both Kai and Nim are enjoying it. After that Kai asks Kim he has been to her hometown when suddenly Kim asks her how about some wine. He thinks she's so sharp as always, telling her the reviews say the wine here is really good. Kai says she loves wine when Kim tells her to then please choose something and let's drink together. She then calls the waiter and orders the wine. After that Kai says that's weird because she doesn't get drunk easily. She tells Kim she swears she's not drunk when Kim tells her to get home safe and then fetches her a cab. Kai tells them they both are perfect together, so stay married forever and have 10 kids when they wave at her while she leaves. Nim then tells Kim she's a nice person when Kim agrees, telling her she really is. Kim then asks if they shall head out too when she agrees. Kim then thinks thanks to her they have figured out how she can stay but still marriage. Even if it's the only option, is this just really okay? He wanted to at least have a proper house, a diamond ring and a real proposal. Just then Nim asks him what's he thinking about while clinging onto his arm. Kim tells her it's nothing. He just wondered if this is really okay for her. Nim tells him honestly she's happy. The sooner they register their marriage, the longer they get to be together. They promise to be honest with each other and to build their future one step at a time. He agrees when she tells him what matters is the time they spend together. A real home, happy days, cute cats, and what matters is building all of that together. He looks at her when she tells him what's important isn't paperwork but what really matters is right here when she hugs him. Kim holds her hand when he asks if she will marry him. She looks at him saying he finally said it but no as she turns away. Kim gets shocked when she tells him he forgot the seal. Kim thinks seal when he wonders if she means. Kim then pulls her closer and kisses her. He then asks if he stamped the seal properly when she tells him she was drunk so she doesn't really remember. She asks him to let's do it again as he kisses her again one more time. The next day, Kim is sleeping when Nim tries to wake him up. He wakes up slowly thinking she's already up. He looks at her a little thinking he wants to sleep a little longer when she tells him she's going to steal his blanket. He thinks she's so cute but still keeps on sleeping when she says seriously. She then covers him up with the blanket when he gets surprised thinking she covered him with the blanket. He then gets up quickly when she laughs, telling him he finally looked at her. He greets her when she asks if he isn't forgetting something. He asks this when he kisses her on the cheek. She tells him not that well she does like that too but they need to go submit their marriage registration. He tells her about that government offices are closed on the weekends so they can wait until next week to sort it out. She says she sees when he asks that's why she has been so restless this morning. She tells him she just really wants to get that paperwork done soon when suddenly he tickles her. She tells him that tickles when he tells her that's his payback for tickling his heart. She then asks if he minds if she tell the lady next door about their marriage. He thinks the neighbor. Now that she mentions that they have met a few times. She was really nice to her but he hasn't met her himself, so should they go together? She agrees. After that, Nim knocks at the door when a girl asks who is it. Nim tells her it's the saintess from next door. Suddenly, the girl opens the door. She looks at Nim asking if something is the matter when Nim tells her they just wanted to tell her that they are getting married. The neighbor gets surprised when Nim introduces her to him, telling her this is her husband. Kim bows in front of her when he greets her, saying it's nice to meet her. He thinks with her dressed up like that he doesn't know where to look. She then says anyway come in and at least have some tea before they go. Nim tells her well if she insists while thanking her. Both of them are sitting inside when Kim looks around thinking does she work as an artist. He looks at different paintings thinking she's really talented. After that she comes back telling them she's afraid she doesn't have much to offer but please have this as she offers them some drinks. Kim thinks he thought she would offer tea when the lady introduces herself as Hiragi Yukino. She tells them she doesn't really like her first name so just call her Hiragi. As they can see she's an illustrator. Kim tells her artwork is amazing when suddenly he gets surprised when he notices a picture of Nim. Kim asks about that when Hiragi tells him that once she tried drawing Seiho-san. Hiragi tells Nim when she first saw her, she felt inspired and started sketching. She's sorry for using her as a subject without permission, so if she doesn't like it then she will get rid of it. Nim tells her not at all because she's happy she drew her so cute. Hiragi asks cute, she says then if she would like then she can have that drawing. Nim gets happy asking really when Hiragi tells her it's not much of a wedding gift but please take it. Kim thanks her when Hiragi asks him to just promise to take good care of it because she would be heartbroken if it got ruined. Kim tells her of course not because he will put it in a proper frame. Nim tells her she will treasure it. After that both of them are walking back after buying groceries when Nim shows Kim a packet of sticker asking him to look at this. Kim looks at it when she tells him she paid for it secretly. He says cute animal stickers, so where's she going to put them? She tells him she will give him one every time he does something good. If he collects 10 then she will say good job and praise him, and at 20 he will get a kiss. Kim asks what if he collects all of them when she gets flustered. She then gets embarrassed when Kim thinks she's so cute when she gets flustered. She tells him but nothing naughty when he agrees. She then says honestly he always teases her when he tells her he doesn't mean to. Just then he notices a stall when he tells her that looks delicious. He then asks how about they have tteokbokki for dinner. She asks what is that when he tells her it's chewy rice cakes stir-fried in a sweet and spicy sauce. She tells him that sounds great so let's buy some. Exactly 10 minutes later Nim is gasping heavily saying she can't eat it because it's too spicy. She says that sweet lady said it wasn't spicy as she lied to them. Kim thinks she really can't handle spicy food. Nim keeps on gasping when he thinks her voice is. Kim then gets worried when he gives her milk telling her he bought it earlier so she should drink this. She drinks it but still keeps on gasping when he asks if she's really okay. She asks if she's okay telling him she's not while clinging on to him. He thinks this is bad because he didn't think she would react this strongly. Didn't they buy something else earlier when he gives her a piece of gum telling her to try chewing on this. He then gives her a glass of milk asking if the drink help at all. He then puts his hand inside of a bag telling her okay. He tells her to open her mouth wide when she gets surprised and opens it. He puts a lollipop in her mouth when he tells her to just sit still. She agrees when he feeds her the lollipop asking why she's so embarrassed. He's just giving her a palate cleanser. She tells him this feels different but the spiciness is gone now. He then tells her one more time to open her mouth when she opens her mouth. Just then he kisses her when she tells him that's 20 sticker points deducted while blushing. Ever since he started living with the saintess he has been adjusting his meals to build up his strength. Nim tells him tonight it's chicken breast steak when he thinks to be honest he's so sick of this but he has to eat it. After finishing the meal, she tells him he ate it all as here is a good job sticker for him. She puts on the sticker at him telling him he did great when he thinks he still hasn't earned back the 20 stickers he lost the other day. Didn't she said she would give him a kiss if he collected 20 stickers when she gives him a kiss on a cheek. After that both of them went outside when he tells her if it isn't a little chilly. She tells him she's fine. This morning he left early with her. He wanted to teach her how to ride the train. He has to check with Kai-san again as it looks like he will have to take Friday off to go to the immigration bureau. That means he needs to submit his paid leave request to his supervisor today, but he would feel bad taking a half day just to buy formal clothes for her, so he will use his lunch break to take her to a department store near the office. For that she will have to ride the train by herself to his office, so now he's going to teach her how to use the train. At the train station, Nim tells him more and more people keep showing up when he says that's because it's rush hour, so be careful on the stairs. She agrees. After getting inside the train station she tells him it's kind of warm inside the station. Everyone is looking at her saying she's a model or an idol when Kim thinks he knows she's cute but don't stare at her so hard. He feels jealous. After that he tells her to tap the card he gave her earlier and go inside when she agrees. After that he tells her from here ride the train and get off at the 5th station. It might be confusing from here so then head this way to outer loop. Follow the green line, don't panic, and get off at the 2nd stop. Just then she asks by the way does he not want her to come with him now. He gets surprised when she tells him he can just head to work as she will wait nearby until noon. He tells her it will be cold but then wait at a cafe nearby. He thinks she will be waiting alone for around 3 hours until his lunch break, so it might be a bit boring but she should be fine. After that the announcement says the train will be arriving soon. Just then Kim if she wants to ride the train that badly when she agrees telling him riding the train underground with him feels like an adventure. He thinks her imagination is running wild as it is really not that exciting, but with her by his side even a miserable commute feels kind of nice. After that the train is packed with people when the doors are opening. Just then by accident he lets go of her hand when she gets back on the train with the people going in. After that Kim gets back inside when he holds her close to him. The door closes when he thinks he's starting to sweat because he didn't think they would end up this close. She holds him pretty tightly when she looks at him, and then puts her face on his chest. He looks at her in confusion when he takes another glance at him, when he smiles. After that the announcement says the next stop is Nichihaku. Nim says there are so many people working hard just living their lives when he agrees, telling her it's easy to forget how much effort that takes. She tells him she wants to pray for everyone here for their well-being when he tells her not to do it here because they will just get in the way. They can pray somewhere else. He then asks, by the way, won't she pray for him too, when she asks if she doesn't always cheer him up and talk to him directly. Inside of a cafe, Kim gives her food, telling her here she goes. She tells him the sunlight feels nice when he tells her he's heading out now, so if she gets hungry then use this card. She tells him she got it, telling him to have a good day when he leaves. After that she's sitting inside the cafe when suddenly she looks at a bunch of guys staring at her. She thinks, when did all these customers show up, when suddenly a guy walks up to her asking if she can speak Japanese. She tells him she understands Japanese when she asks what does he need, as if he needs a prayer. Everyone gets surprised, thinking with a face like that, is she from some weird cult, but even so she's so cute that they would welcome her anyway. The guy asks if she needs a prayer, then go ahead but have lunch with him in exchange. She asks lunch, but why? Just then she asks if he likes her or something when the guy thinks what's wrong with her. The guy then agrees, telling her he thinks she is nice when Nim apologizes, telling him she's already engaged to someone. The guy tells her but she's not wearing a ring when she tells him she doesn't need a ring to be married. That person is already the best gift she could ask for when the guy feels sad. After that Kim walks inside the cafe when he walks towards Nim. He then apologizes to her while calling her pretty lady when she ignores him. Just when he calls her again, telling her people are staring at him, so please go easy on him. Everyone is looking at him when suddenly Nim tells him she's waiting for her husband right now. Kim calls her honey when she blushes and clings on to him, telling him she has been waiting as both of them leaves. That day the cafe was filled with the silent tears of rejected men. As Kim is going back, his phone rings when he picks up the call. He greets Kai's when she asks if he has a moment to talk. She tells him it's about the Saintess's refugee application. She made their reservation for Friday. There's a friend of her as they know a lot about these things, so she asks them for help. Kim thanks her when she tells him that friend works at the immigration bureau, so try to be there by 10 a.m. on Friday. Kim agrees when she tells him it just so happens that her workplace is in the same district, so they will be able to talk things over while going back and forth. He thinks the same district when he agrees, telling her he understood. She then tells him not to worry too much because she will go with him as well. He asks really, as that will be a big help. He then thanks her again when she tells him there's no need to thank her because this is what she does. Stuff like this usually takes time, but they are being pretty responsive in this case. He asks is that so, was there some particular reason for that, when she tells him she showed them a photo of the Saintess. She then apologizes for using the photos they took together in this way when he thinks the photos from when they all were a bit tipsy the other day. He tells her that's fine because it's not like she used it for personal reason or anything, but how did the photos help? She tells him the Saintess is exceptionally cute, so she thought she would be good publicity. That's why it seems they want to use the Saintess as a kind of poster girl for refugees. Lately public sentiment towards refugees has worsened, and what if there are male factors slipped in the mix, or why are taxpayers' money being used for them, so they want to improve the image of refugees by making the Saintess their figurehead. With how quickly things are moving, she didn't get to ask them both for their opinions, so sorry about that, but in exchange the screenings and support should go smoothly. He thinks he didn't feel great about it, but it's not like he has a reason to be angry. They will use them so they can use them too. When she tells him, by the way, could he tell her the Saintess' real name? That's just an alias when he asks if he has to say it right now. She tells him if the Saintess applies for refugee status, a visa will be issued. In the Saintess's case, she will get her residence card right away on Friday, so the name written there will be. He then thinks her name is. After that the Saintess asks her name as if it isn't okay as it is. He asks just Saintess when she agrees. He says well it's not that it's not allowed, while thinking Sejio wouldn't sound too weird. Just then she tells him her name is when he says he knows she gave her original name back to An. The Saintess is a special being. She's loved by the world and pities the world. That's why she is not allowed to have a name. A name is something that distinguishes oneself from the world, as if she had a name then she would be separated from the world. That's why the Saintess returned her original name to the main god, but that was in the other world. Here she can have a name too when he asks if she doesn't want him giving her a name. She tells him that's not it when he says then let's choose a name together. He asks what about taking the Sei from Saintess and making it Seiko when she tells him that sounds nice. He thinks she doesn't seem too crazy about it, so then what about Rin written with the character for bell? She tells him that's cute like the sound of a ringing bell when he thinks that doesn't seem to be a hit either. He then starts telling her different names when she tells him any of them are good. After that he lies down on the ground being exhausted when she tells him if he's tired then let's just sleep and try again after they wake up. He asks should they, but they have to decide by tomorrow. He says then when they wake up as they both fall asleep. In his dream he remembers when they both were on a journey. Inside of a forest, Kim tells her when the sun rises the kingdom of Zealous will send a ship for them, so let's wait by the shore. He tells her he will take the lead, so please take a look after the people in the back when she agrees. The moon hid behind the clouds that night. Leading over 100 people through the pitch black forest was almost impossible, but when the impossible does happen people call that a miracle. He then tells everyone to hold hands with the person next to them and stand in 2 lines. Just as he passes by, please sit down in their place. He starts counting the people when he gets surprised saying 2 people are missing. Just then an old lady tells him he forgot to count the kids he's carrying when he counts the kids, saying that makes 100. He tells everyone they will rest here until the morning. He then apologizes to everyone, telling them, but because the demon lord's army might find them, they can have a fire, so if they are cold, please let the saintess know. After that he thinks all that's left is to wait at this beach for the ship, but what if the ship doesn't come? What if this is not a promised shore, and what if everyone can fit? He then disagrees, thinking he must have faith in the friends who said they would help them. After that comes morning, when everyone says the sun is up and they made it. Beautiful shells sparkles in the shore when they say such pretty shells, as if they pick them up then they can sell them. Everyone starts picking the shells when Kim asks the saintess if she isn't picking up any. She tells him everyone else is picking them up, so when he tells her there's so many it's fine. Even if they pick up some together they want a big one. He tells her to look, as there are so many, when she says she bet his whole beach used to be covered in rainbow shells, that's why for her just one grain of sand is enough. He looks at her when a ship arrives. Everyone says it's here. Just then Kim asks if it doesn't bother her that she doesn't have a name. She tells him it's not that big of a deal when he says but if she doesn't have a name. She says if she thinks she got a name then she would start wanting more. She would no longer just be a saintess, as she would start having human desires and wishes. He tells her she can be selfish with him. Don't she ever want to just be a person, not the saintess, doing things like getting tired and just saying so, or throwing a little tantrum, or picking up a shiny little shell and putting it in her room like a treasure, or wanting to be called by her own name. He tells her he's just a human in this world, and someday he will have to leave this place. If she doesn't mind, and she would like to give her a name, so at least use it when it's just the two of them. He's sure a generous God would forgive them for that. Just then he gives her the name when suddenly he wakes up. He breathes heavily when she tells him right now this is enough for her. She wants him to give her a name. He says he doesn't know how long it will take when she tells him she's confident that she can wait, and this time she will be waiting with him, so she believes that he will remember her true name as they both hug each other. She says the name she wants to be called someday. At the Thursday night, both of them are sitting together to eat dinner. Hiro is talking on the phone, telling his mom, that's right. He will bring his fiancée over on Saturday. He then gets surprised, asking if she wants him to put her on the phone since she's right next to him. She will meet her in 2 days anyway though. Saintess is looking at him in confusion when he thinks his mother still doesn't believe him. He then says she wants him to hand the phone to her, telling her it's fine because he's hanging up now. Just then Saintess says she would like to talk with her. He gives her his phone, asking her to go on ahead, as she takes the phone while thanking him. She greets his mother, calling her mother-in-law, saying it's nice to meet her. Hearing her voice, Hiro's mother gets bamboozled. Saintess then talks to her, agreeing that she's dating the hero. That's right, while Hiro thinks his mother didn't faint or anything because that sound just now was pretty loud. Saintess then tells his mother they will visit them on Saturday to offer their greetings, and yes, they're about to eat. After talking for a bit, she ends the call, telling Hiro just as expected his mother is really kind. Hiro tells her that's just how mothers are. Saintess tells him that's exactly why she worries about everything. It's clear how much she loves him. Saintess leans on him when Hiro thinks he never initiated contact with her, let alone did anything filial. Maybe bringing the Saintess to meet her is the best way to show filial piety, as he hugs her while thanking her. Saintess tells him she should be the one to thank him. Hiro says he didn't really do anything to deserve thanks though when she says he found her. He tells her if she put it that way she was the one who found him when she says it was him who answered her call first. He says well, let's both be grateful to each other when she agrees with that. She then says they should eat before the food gets cold. Afterwards, as they both were eating, Hiro says she has learned to make all kinds of dishes. Saintess tells him the neighbor taught her, and she also borrowed her computer to surf the internet. Hiro thinks she really picks things up fast. He's no slouch in the kitchen, but it's incredible that she's so much more skilled after just a few weeks. It's a pleasant type of defeat. After eating dinner, both of them are sitting together when suddenly both of their legs bumps into each other. Just then Saintess grabs his feet when he smiles at her, holding her hands. He thinks finally tomorrow is the day. They got all the documents ready for the refugee application. He then remembers something as he asks what about her last name. She asks last name when he agrees, saying if her last name is Sei and her first name is Joe then it would definitely seem weird. Saintess asks if it's okay if she takes his last name. He asks Kanemato, thinking it's too basic to be cute, besides they're not married yet. He tells her maybe they should choose something else, as he wants to give her the cutest last name in the world. She says the cutest, asking isn't his dad's last name cute enough, then what about his mom's maiden name? He says Amano, as Ama is for heaven, No is for field. She asks Amano then while smiling when his heart skips a beat. She asks what about it when he tells her it's the cutest last name in the world. He gets embarrassed when she tells him Amano is such a cute sounding name, and since it's his mother's maiden name it's the cutest for her. He asks if they shall go with Amano then, as she agrees. He thinks about her name, wondering what a nice name, when she asks if he would like something to drink. He agrees. After that she brings him tea. As they both were sitting together her hand starts shaking when she asks if everything will go well tomorrow. He tells her they have got attorney Kai Seiji on their side, so it will be fine. Everyone thinks well of her, and they have plenty of support. Just then she tells him actually she's a little scared. What if she gets deported, and what if they get separated? She keeps on thinking about that over and over again. Just then, Hiro tells her that will never happen. No matter what, he will always be by her side. He holds her hand, saying just like how she rode crows across the Milky Way to reach him, he will be there for her. She feels a little relieved as she thanks him. He bumps her head, saying they promise to be grateful to each other for finding each other when she agrees. He then holds her hand, telling her tomorrow will be a fun day just like today, when she tells him even more than today because she gets to spend the whole day with him. After that both of them are enjoying their time together when he asks why is she taking pictures of the food. He tells her he was thinking about writing a review, thinking the store offered a free drink in exchange for a review. As they both were looking at the photos, she sees a screenshot of their text messages when she asks when did he even took that. He apologizes, telling her it was just so cute that he couldn't help but screenshot the chat. She feels embarrassed, telling him she's working hard to learn how to use the smartphone when he agrees while laughing. Just then, as they were scrolling through, she suddenly stops, asking Hiro if these are his parents. He looks at a photo with them when she says now that he mentions it she knows nothing about his parents. Tell her about them. He looks at her, telling her they're just ordinary people. His mother is a teacher and his dad works for a company. She says she sees, but to her they're special. He asks is that so, as if she thinks his parents were born under some special star. She giggles, telling him it's nothing like that. They're the ones who brought him into this world, so to her they're the most special people after the hero. Hearing that, he gets embarrassed, thinking he used being busy as an excuse and haven't gone home in months. It's been a long time since he even contacted them. As he was thinking that, she leans on him, telling him to let's dress up and go greet them on Saturday, when Hiro agrees. Outside the train station, Hiro thinks they got here 30 minutes early. Better early than late though. Just then, Saintis, all dressed up, asks him how does she look. He tells her she looks really beautiful when she tells him that's nice to hear, but is it really okay to dress up this much for a review? He grabs her hand, telling her he doubts anyone would dislike her for that. He's sure she will make a good impression, asking if she's still nervous. She agrees, telling him a bit when he tells her then let him help her relax. She asks how and says because he's the hero. He will share some of his hero's courage with her. He then raises both her hands up, saying hero's courage charge, feel the courage welling up. She gets embarrassed when he tells her he won't let her go until she says it too. She repeats after him when he asks her to say it louder one more time. After that, at the immigration bureau, both of them arrives there when Hiro notices Kai's sitting there. He calls her as she greets them both. He thinks she's just as early as they are while thanking her for making time for them. Kai's disagrees, telling him it's her job and it's been a while since she has done such rewarding work. She made the reservation in advance, so let's go inside and talk with the director directly. At the reception room, Kai's knocks at the door when a voice asks them to come in. Kai's excuses themselves as an old lady is sitting there as she greets them, introducing herself as director, Anda Keiko. The director asks them to please have a seat. Afterwards, as they were sitting together, the director says she has heard their story from attorney Kai's. She's the Saintis and Hiro. Hiro agrees, telling her that's them. The director says today's refugee screening involves a brief explanation and an interview with the Saintis. No factor will put her at a disadvantage, so please feel free to speak comfortably. If she also applies for public assistance today along with the refugee application, then she will start receiving monthly support payments. It's about 40,000 yen, not a lot, but when Hiro thinks even that would be a huge help. She says normally she would only be allowed to work 6 months after applying for refugee status, but in the Saintis' case she coordinated with the necessary officers and arranged a temporary work permit. It should arrive at Kanemaru Yushao's home by next week and will be ready to use right away when Hiro thanks her very much. The director then says that's all for the explanation, but now let's begin the interview. She tells the Saintis to think of it as a process to confirm their application and documents, as she may sound strict, but it's so that she can understand them better and help them. She tells her to just answer honestly, and she will be fine when the Saintis agrees. The director then says now then, as she looks at the documents and gets surprised. Hiro looks at her troubled face, wondering what's wrong, as he left everything about the demon lord gods and the other worlds out. Just then the director pulls out a bunch of tissues and starts crying when Hiro calls her in confusion. The director asks the Saintis if she doesn't know her real parents. Saintis agrees, telling her that's correct, she doesn't know her birth parents. The director asks she looked up to someone named as An as her mother, when Saintis agrees, telling her she allowed her to stay in this world. The director asks if this An was like her foster parent, but she didn't provide her with food, shelter or clothing. Saintis tells her the ground was her bed and the clouds were her blankets. Flowers and honeycombs were gifts from An. The director asks what does it mean that she gave her name back to her, when Saintis tells her it means that she mustn't become special. The director asks her foster mother said that, when Saintis agrees, telling her she did. Hearing that, the director starts crying when Saintis tells her not to cry. Hiro thinks the vibe here has been sort of off for a while when the director apologizes, telling her once she gets to her age, they become overly sentimental. She tells her if she ever had a hard time, talk to her. The director then asks if her foster mother asked her to go to the war zone and fight. Saintis agrees, telling her the civil war lasted over a year, and she worked with the hero. Director asks if she received any reward or medals for her efforts. Saintis disagrees, telling her she didn't fight for rewards, and she doesn't think An wanted her to get those either. Instead, she got the chance to meet someone wonderful as she clings on to Hiro. The director says she really went through a lot of hardships, when Saintis tells her she never thought of it that way. She was always happy. The director asks Kais and Saintis if they could wait in the next room. Kais agrees as she takes Saintis away. After they leave, the director calls Hiro, saying to be honest there are some unclear areas in the Saintis' story, like her country of origin, civil war, his role in all this, and how the Saintis even got into Japan. Hiro agrees, telling her that's true. The Saintis says but she can tell that the Saintis didn't lie on her documents, and she can see how much she craves love. On the other hand, she can see how pure and loving she is, it's so cruel. Hiro gets surprised when the director tells him as a child she was abused and brainwashed by her foster mother. She believes An was part of a cult. She barely cared for the Saintis and just forced her to pray and worship her. That's unbelievably selfish and wicked, and then for her own gain she sent the Saintis into a war zone as a tool for her cult. Hiro thinks what a huge misunderstanding, but it works out for them, so he will let it be as he agrees. The director then says who knows how much the Saintis was hurt and all that, as if there really was a god they would never forgive that. He thinks she really is a god though. The director tells him he has to support her now, share her pain and do his best to understand her. Hiro says he's trying to do that when she says she's glad someone as sincere as him is by her side. Hiro says he's glad she's with him too. The director then apologizes, telling him she shouldn't show this side of herself in front of an interviewee when Hiro disagrees, telling her they're grateful that she understands their story. The director gives him her residence card as he thanks her very much. After that, both of them walks out of the room when Kais and Saintis are talking together. Saintis notices them when she calls the director. The director says her application has been officially accepted and they will keep in touch. Saintis says she was crying earlier, asking if she's okay when the director apologizes, telling her she had to see that. It is embarrassing at her age. Saintis says that is okay because everyone feels like crying sometime or the other. When she does, just think of her, and she will pray for her. Hearing that, the director starts crying again, telling them she will be going now. Kais leaves too when Hiro thanks her, asking her to take care. After that, as they both walk out of the bureau, Hiro asks Saintis if they should get lunch and go for a walk. There's a nice spot nearby, so it would be a waste to go straight home. Saintis agrees, telling him to let's do that. Afterwards, the Saintis is looking at her residence card when she asks Hiro, where's Ukraine? Hiro tells her it's in Eastern Europe, northwest of here. She asks with this card she can stay with him when he says even without it they will always be together. She says since he said something cute, here's a sticker for him, sticking it on his hand. He asks what about the sticker for the courage charge from earlier when she says then she will give him an extra one. Afterwards, both of them are taking a stroll in the city when he wonders if they look like a typical working couple. If they work at the same office, then they would commute together and work in the same place, go out for lunch together searching for good places to eat, and if they had coffee together then they might end up getting scolded for coming back late. They could even do some overtime, and then go home together. Just then she asks Hiro about her job. She was thinking of working at that cafe they went to together near his office, asking what does he think. He asks that cafe, thinking if it was that place where she waited for him that day. She agrees, telling him the owner asked if she wanted to work there. He thinks, he wonders if she knows there's no rush for her to start working, or does she just like that cafe. He tells her there are a lot of cafes near their place, so why that one, wondering if it's the interior or was the owner really kind. She tells him if she works there, she can commute with him. They could sometimes have lunch together too and drink coffee together. He thinks she was fantasizing about the same kind of life he was. Commuting, working and coming home together, that sort of life every day. He tells her to let's go then and check it out together next week when she agrees. Afterwards, it starts snowing when she gets surprised, saying it's snowing. She says it's cold when he thinks it's already time for snow. Well, Christmas is just a month away. Just then, she asks what's he thinking about. He tells her he's thinking about her when she says what's with that cheesy line, she's taking away one sticker. He gets surprised, saying even though she rewarded him for saying something cute earlier, while thinking he really doesn't understand her criteria for giving or taking away stickers, but she's still cute. He then tells her his parents live in a place called Shizuoka. She asks if it's a seaside area when he agrees, telling her she will hear the sound of the waves so much that she will get tired of it. She asks if they can get there by train too when he says it would have been nice if they could, but it was completely booked. He tells her they actually have to take a bus as it takes about 3 hours. She agrees when he tells her if they leave early, eat lunch there and come back, then it can be a one-day trip. She tells him there's no need to rush back though. It's been a while for him too, so they could even stay the night. He tells her but she might feel awkward when she tells him not at all because it's his parents' home. She then asks him if there are any relatives fighting to inherit the family estate. If he's dreading bringing her to meet his family for that reason. He disagrees, telling her that's not it. They're just an ordinary average household. She asks if he didn't say the other day they were giving leftover land to the villagers. He tells her that was a sweet potato field. His grandfather was too old for farm work now, so they just decided to lend it out. She asks if he didn't say there are a lot of relatives living around the house when he tells her that's true, but they aren't some fancy family. The founder was hatched from an egg. She asks didn't he said he was the heir to the Kanemoto clan, a lineage with 2,000 years of history. He says what's she talking about, that's not true. He thinks he can't believe the saintess thought his parents were nobles or something. She must have read a history book, but it looks like she stopped midway between the medieval and modern chapters. He then explains everything to her when she says she finally got it. He asks really when she tells him he's the direct heir to the Kanemoto clan, blessed by the bird god and destined to rebuild the ancient empire, the heir to the Kanemoto family crest. He looks at her in complete astonishment, telling her to let's just go to bed. After that he turns off the light. Both of them are lying down when she tells him she's looking forward to tomorrow. He says tomorrow will bring even more happiness than today, so let's get some sleep. She says if tomorrow they will be happier than they are today, then shouldn't they make today even more fun, as she gets on top of him. She tells him he collected 20 stickers. Hiro agrees while thinking if she was counting. She tells him she's taking all 20 back when he gets surprised, asking what. He finally collected them and she's taking them away. She tells him she's just kidding and starts kissing him on his face. She then lays down on his chest when he hugs her tightly. She tells him if she's this happy today, then how happy will she be tomorrow, telling him he will find about that tomorrow night. Just then he turns her over and gets on top of her when she gets surprised. He tells her the night isn't over yet when she giggles, telling him it tickles. The next day inside the bus, the announcement says they will take a break at the surface area. Saintis is sleeping on Hiro's shoulder when he looks at her, telling her to wake up. She wakes up and suddenly grabs his hand when he agrees, saying it's his hand. She asks if they're there already when he disagrees, telling her it's just a rest stop. Let's use the restroom and grab a light meal. Afterwards, Hiro is waiting outside the restroom wondering if she's not done yet. Well, women do take a bit longer. Just then he gets surprised when he looks at the food aisle, thinking the options looks good. What should they pick? Just then Saintis appears behind him, saying she's looking for her husband, as if he has seen him. He asks what does her husband look like when she says when she sees him half awake in the morning, she feels like she's looking at all the happiness in the world. He asks how tall is he when she says tall enough for her head to touch his chest when they hug. He tells her he can't really picture him when she asks if she say this would he know. She puts her finger on his lips saying last night with these wicked lips he left marks all over her body while he gets embarrassed. He then tells her to let's eat because it looks delicious. She asks Saintess he said when he calls her, honey, thinking she should get ready for tonight. After that inside the bus, he tells the Saintess to have this when she opens her mouth. Both of them feeds each other as the bus starts moving. Saintess asks by the way, why does walnut buns have so little walnut and so much red bean paste when he tells her who knows. She says taiyaki also doesn't really have fish in it either. Just bean paste when he agrees saying that's true. He then says maybe it's not about the ingredients but the shape. Walnuts and taiyaki just look like their name sake. After a while, they reach Hiro's home when Saintess tells him she's suddenly getting nervous. He calls her name telling her there's nothing to worry about because the refugee screening went fine and his parents are looking forward to meeting her. She asks really when he says if she's nervous then he can give her another courage charge. She agrees when he says here she goes while picking her up. She gets happy when he asks if she feels any better now. Just then they turn around and sees his parents standing there disbelief looking at them. His mother quickly tells him it's fine, don't mind them and just take their time when both of them disagrees while feeling embarrassed. Hiro tells them they're coming in. Afterwards, both of them are sitting inside when Hiro's mother says lunch is ready as they haven't eaten yet. Hiro agrees when she tells him to just wait for a moment. Just then Saintess says she can help when Hiro tells her there's no need, just sit down. His parents aren't fussy about that kind of thing so today just relax and be a guest. Just then, Saintess says but she's here as his wife, their daughter-in-law. He says that's true but. Just then his father tells her they must be jet-lagged from today's trip but she can help with the dishes later. Saintess agrees when Hiro's mother tells him she made short ribs, his favorite when Hiro tells her it's been a while since he had her short ribs. She says if he visits more then she will make it as much as he wants. Saintess thanks her for the meal when Hiro's mother says her manners are so cute. She thought this on the phone too that her Japanese is so good. She also eats so cutely. Even how she handles the chopsticks are perfect. She then asks Hiro where did he find such a lovely young lady. Saintess thanks her for saying that telling her she thinks she's really beautiful too and the food is delicious, she's so happy. Hiro thinks it feels like he's the bride and the Saintess is the son. Hiro's mother tells her to try this, she made it with shiitake mushrooms. Saintess tells her it looks good when Hiro's mother tells him if he loses this girl then he's hopeless. Hiro tells her they're here to get their blessings as a couple after all. Just then his mother flicks him on his head saying he should listen to his mother. He's always been a bit unsociable, hard to read the room. The young lady must have had a hard time with him when the Saintess starts laughing. After eating Saintess tells his mother she will do the dishes. Hiro's mother tells her it's fine because she's a guest. Just then Saintess tells her but she's here as the hero's wife and her daughter-in-law. Her mother says what a wonderful thing to say. Well, let's leave the dishes for later and have some coffee. Hiro says coffee sounds good for them too. Just then his father says maybe the woman wants to talk alone. Hiro says then he will make tea for them when his father disagrees saying it's fine. He takes out some fruits telling him to let's eat this. After that both of them are eating the fruit when his father asks him if he's carving a sculpture. Hiro tells him when he lives alone he really doesn't eat fruit. His father says seriously if he gets married, he should know how to peel fruit for his wife. Hiro tells him he will try. His father then asks what about his home when Hiro tells him for now they will live in the one-room apartment. His father tells him that's not enough. He should look for a bigger place, he will help. Hiro tells him rent in Tokyo is really expensive asking if his uncle ever pay him back. There's grandpa's hospital bills too. He doesn't mean he doesn't want help. Just if he has it to spare, that's fine. Just then, his father apologizes to him when he asks why is he apologizing. He thinks he has kept these words bottled up for a long time and now they're finally coming out telling him even he should be a better son. It's hard enough just getting by at a small company. Maybe it's embarrassing or maybe he just feels ashamed. His father says if he's healthy, that's enough for him. He could call more often and come home sometimes. That's what being a good son is. Hiro tells him he has learned that, thanks to her. When they want to do something for someone they love, it's not about grand gestures but it's about just wishing for their happiness. Rather than receiving, it's about giving. Just like he thinks about her, his parents think about him too. That made things easier for him. His father looks at him silently when he says he should be grateful to her. He then asks if he's really okay with him getting married. Even though she's a foreigner, and he brought her here suddenly. His father says he married someone from the Philippines too, what's the problem? He did worry a little about marriage fraud but when he saw them both together, it put his mind at ease and the Saintess really loves him too. If they love each other then he has no complaints, and his mother also seems to like her too. He then asks Hiro if he's leaving after lunch when Hiro disagrees telling him they will stay for the night. After drinking tea and eating fruits Hiro's mother says she will steam some crab now. Hiro tells her to let's have that for dinner because he's already so full that he can't breath. His mother tells him not to be selfish, the Saintess has to try some crab. Hiro tells her that's why they will wait for dinner. She tells him she was planning on making samgyeopsal as his father says maybe he should bring some dried squid too. Hiro asks Saintess if she's okay. Saintess tells him she's fine while looking a bit out of it. He tells her not to push herself as they should go for a little walk. Afterwards as they both are walking together, Hiro looks at her thinking he feels like she has gotten a little fatter. Just then she asks if he was thinking something weird just now. He tells her he just thought that she became even more adorable while thinking it seems the more she gains, the more lovable she becomes. The next minute Hiro's father calls them asking where did the two of them go. He tells his father he thought they would walk for a bit and make up an appetite. His father says then they might as well visit the sea. He will lend him the car. He gives the keys to Hiro, telling him to be careful while driving. Hiro thanks him, asking him to tell mom to go easy on the crab. His father agrees while telling the saintess to see her later when she agrees, telling him they will be back soon. After that, both of them are sitting inside the car when Hiro asks her to fasten her seatbelt. She asks like this as she did this. He agrees, telling her to let's go. Inside the house, Hiro's mother asks his father where did the saintess go. His father tells her she went on a walk with Yusha, when his mother in anger asks why didn't he stop them. She has got to feed her crab. Yusha, while hearing them, leaves with the saintess praying for his dad's safety. As they were driving, saintess is looking around when she says the sun just hid behind the clouds and there's a dog over there. She's enjoying the ride pretty much while Hiro looks at her with loving eyes. After that, they make a stop at a shop when saintess asks him where's this. He tells her his cousin runs this fish shop, so let's walk from here, when she agrees. Afterwards, they both are walking when she looks at some people surfing at the sea, asking what are those people doing. Hiro tells her they are surfing. It's a sport where people balance on boards like that and ride the waves. She says she wants to try that with him someday, when he says that sounds like a plan. Afterwards, while holding hands, both of them reaches the beach when saintess sits down and starts collecting seashells. She says these are awesome. There are so many things that she can collect here. Is it okay that she has become so greedy? He tells her he accepts all of her desires. She asks what about her name when he apologizes, telling her he's trying hard to remember. She tells him to take his time as she will wait, but can she ask just for one thing? He agrees, saying anything when she asks him to hug her really tightly, as tight as he can. He hugs her tightly when she says she's so happy. She really has become greedy. Afterwards, the sun is setting down as they both are looking at it. Hiro remembers the past when he says they sat and watched the sea like this before. She leans on him and then agrees, telling him the sea that day was pretty, but today it's just so beautiful that it makes her want to cry. He thinks he came to the sea hundreds of times alone, but he has never found it this beautiful before. Afterwards, they both come back when his Hiro's cousin calls him, telling him to have some of this. Hiro asks some of what when his cousin tells him, clams. They are great for soup. They then leave when saintess asks him what's that. He tells her this is clam. He opens the bag, showing it to her when she says it's beautiful. He then tells her to let's head back now. At home, his mother has prepared many dishes while his father says let's have a drink. His father tells him he was saving this for when he gets married, but he never thought that day would really come. Hiro asks what is he talking about. His father laughs, saying no one else but the saintess would pick him up. Hiro tells him he could totally be with someone else when suddenly saintess pinches his leg. He says he's right, only the saintess would take him. His father then thanks her for being with their son when she says she should be the one thanking them. She thanks them for giving birth to such an amazing person and for raising him in such a wonderful way. Both the parents get surprised. After eating dinner, Hiro's mother says she must be tired from walking so much. She should go rest in their room. Saintess agrees while thanking her for the meal. Hiro's mother tells him she set up their beds in the annex. Hiro asks if there aren't any other rooms when his mother tells him he really is clueless. She made sure the room is warm, so go ahead as they leaves. Saintess says goodnight to her when his mother says she's so adorable. Afterwards, as they were lying, Saintess says the floor is so hot. Hiro says just how much did she turn on the heat, asking if he should go lower the temperature. She tells him it should be fine. They're on the futon, so now hurry up and come here. He agrees, telling her here he comes when she starts laughing. She then asks if there's anything in this world more softer than this futon when he says he think there is. She asks what is it when he grabs her, saying Saintess skin. She gets embarrassed calling him when he tells her this is the fallen Hiro, and she's really a saintess when she screams. The next day in the morning, Saintess is sleeping peacefully while Hiro is looking at her with loving eyes, admiring her. He then kisses her and leaves. He walks out of his room when his mother asks if he's awake. He agrees, asking if she slept well. She says sleep well, he asks. It was noisy all night as she couldn't sleep a wink. Hiro gets embarrassed when she giggles, telling him she's just kidding, asking why is he getting so flustered. He stays silent. His mother then calls him, asking he doesn't have gochujang at home. He says gochujang, asking if she isn't preparing breakfast. She tells him she will scoop some out for him, take it. Also gochugaru, doenjang and kimchi. He says even if she gives him all that, he can't carry it all. She tells him she will give him a carrier, so pack it properly and take it. It will cost him more if he buys it in Seoul anyway. He tells her there's no place to put it in his room. Just then his mother asks if he's planning to keep living in that room. He agrees when she asks how can two people live in a room that small for one, especially newlyweds. Speaking of which, when are they going to have a wedding? He tells her they're planning to register their marriage first, then they will have the wedding later. His mother calls him a rascal, telling him a wedding is once in a lifetime event for a woman, asking if he's just going to skip it. He tells her wedding is a once in a lifetime event for a man too, and it's not like they're skipping it. They're just saying they will do it later. He then looks at her, thinking mother is also speaking on behalf of him and the saintess. He thinks he doesn't want to have a disappointing trip back home from his parents' house when he hugs her tightly from behind. He says he knows why she's saying these things. She's worried about them and wants them to live happily. His mother agrees, telling him that's how she feels. He tells her but they also thought it through and discussed everything before making their decision, so he hopes she will respect their decision. They are happy right now. His mother apologizes, asking if she pushed him too hard. He's an adult now, so she's sure he will manage just fine on his own. She keeps on meddling without even realizing it when he tells her he understands, but now it's their turn to start a family. She tells him still at least take this gochujang with him back home. She will give him just a little bit when he agrees. After packing everything, he looks at it thinking it's not a little bit after all. His parents are working in the kitchen when Saintis walks out of her room saying she was supposed to prepare breakfast. Hiro tells her it's alright because it's all done now. Saintis asks still if there's anything she can help with when his mother says how thoughtful of her. She tells her to just set the table with the spoons. Afterwards, they all thank God for the meal when his father tells him he won't be able to have lunch before he leaves. Hiro disagrees, telling him he has work tomorrow, so he's heading back a bit early to get some rest. They will just drink this and head out. His father tells him then he will give them a ride to the terminal when he tells him he really doesn't have to. His father says if he doesn't then his mother will nag him about it for this. His mother tells his father to hurry up and go start the car. Afterwards, inside the car, his mother tells him to come again soon. She will grill them some hanbao next time they will come. Saintis agrees, telling her she will come often with her husband. His mother then asks if he changed his mind about the wedding, let her know. She can at least do that much for him when he agrees while thanking her. Just then she asks they aren't thinking about having children yet when Saintis gets embarrassed, saying they're planning to take their time. His mother agrees. Afterwards, at the bus terminal, his mother calls Saintis asking if she can come here for a moment. She agrees when Hiro looks at them wondering where are they going. His father comes behind him when he clears his throat. Hiro turns towards him asking if there's something he wants to say. He already bought the tickets. His father tells him it's nothing much as he gives him a credit card. Hiro asks what's this when his father tells him he has been saving 100,000 each month since he was in high school. With interest it's about 10,000 now. Hiro tells him they're really okay when his father tells him to just take it while apologizing that he can't do more for him. If it weren't for his uncle's situation he would have at least helped him with the deposit for his new place. Hiro accepts the card while thanking him with tears in his eyes. Just then, Saintis calls him when Hiro answers her. She asks him to take a look at this as she's wearing a beautiful pearl necklace. She tells him his mother gave her this pearl necklace. Hiro looks at it asking he has never seen that before. His mother tells him his maternal grandmother gave it to her when she got married. She was planning to get him a proper wedding jeweler for the ceremony, but she thought she should at least give her a necklace before then. Saintis tells her she's truly happy with this necklace. She can really feel her deep love. His mother gets happy saying their dear girl always speaks so beautifully, but still she will make sure to get her proper jeweler later. Saintis thanks her. Hiro then says it's almost time so they will be heading out now. Saintis tells them they will come visit again soon when Hiro's parents tell her to get back safely. His mother then smacks Hiro, telling him to at least call often. Afterwards, they sit inside the bus as his parents sees them off. The bus starts moving when Saintis leans on his arm, telling him it's a necklace that her maternal grandmother gave her. Hiro says that's what she told him when Saintis says she wonders what the maternal grandmother felt when she passed this necklace down, and what was mother feeling as she gave her this necklace now. If she were to pass this necklace on some day, then what would she be feeling at that time? Hiro, after hearing that, thinks a father's love is broad but a mother's love is endlessly deep. As someone who can never become a mother, it's hard for him to truly imagine what that feels like. She says she hopes that day comes someday when he agrees. Afterwards, they reach back to their apartment when they open the door saying they're back. Saintis suddenly hugs him, telling him she's back too when he welcomes her back and hugs her tightly. The next day, Hiro walks inside the cafe when he looks at Saintis sitting there quietly reading a book. He walks towards her, calling her his dear wife, asking how did she spend her day today. Saintis looks at him, telling him she spent the entire day worrying about how she could live comfortably in this faraway land. He tells her he missed her so much, asking what about her. If she thought of him at all. She hides her face in embarrassment, telling him well, he sees when he says so she didn't. He's quite disappointed. She says that's not it when he asks then just as he missed her, did she miss him? Did she thought of him just as much as he thought of her? She feels embarrassed when she agrees. Just then the host excuses them when Saintis apologizes to her. The host then asks Hiro, he said his name was Mr. Yusha, asking if she continued to call him that. Hiro agrees when she tells him she heard the details from the Saintis, and they agreed to let her work part-time at their cafe. Hiro thinks it seems the work issues have been resolved, asking if that's okay. He means Saintis is a bit different from the others. The boss might feel uncomfortable. The host asks uncomfortable. They would be very happy if Miss Saintis works for them. Many customers already like her, and that boosts their sales when Hiro giggles. She then tells him they will accommodate Saintis as much as possible. She can come to work whenever she wants and leave whenever she wants. Hiro asks her what does she think as Saintis hesitates for a bit. Hiro asks if she's feeling alright or perhaps she has a fever. He calls her his dear wife, asking her to let him check with his forehead. She gets embarrassed, telling him that way of speaking is forbidden and checking for fever is also forbidden. The host tells him they both seem to have a really good relationship when Hiro apologizes, telling her they were talking about work hours. She says she was just suggesting because they might want a flexible schedule. Saintis says then she would like to go to work with Yusha and leave around 4 p.m. The host agrees, telling her it would be nice to leave for work at the same time, but she would like to get back home before him to prepare dinner. Then, how about coming in at 8:30 a.m. and leaving at 3:30 p.m. Lunch break is from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. when Saintis agrees, telling her that sounds good. The host then says then for the hourly wage their usual part-time wage is about 10,000, so how about 15,000 instead for Saintis? The host then tells them that was a joke as she starts raising her wage. Hiro thinks she's increasing the price as if that isn't higher than his wage. At this rate, she might become the breadwinner. It's a good thing, but somehow it feels strange since he's a man. Saintis asks her if her work would be different from the others. The host tells her the work is the same. Saintis tells her then she will take the same pay as the others when Hiro gets surprised. The host tells her that's not right. They are getting more customers because of her, so they should pay her accordingly. She has to accept at least 17,001. Saintis says well in that case when the host quickly says if she brings her work permit tomorrow then they will draw up the employment contract. Honestly, she can't tell them how relieved she is that Saintis came to work here. Lately, the business has been doing not so good and she was wondering if they should just close down. She then tells Hiro by the way Saintis said she wanted to try the dripping machine today so she showed her about it, and she learned so quickly. Hiro tells her their Saintis learns everything quickly, she's a genius. Both of them starts praising her saying she's someone so pretty, and so smart plus her voice is so lovely that listening to it is music to the ears. She's also envious of her figure, as she has such a perfect body when Saintis gets embarrassed. The host then says what should she do? She thinks she's getting addicted to teasing her. Hiro tells her she shouldn't go too far because teasing her is his thing. She tells him that's right. She doesn't want to make enemies with Mr. Yusha so she will tease her moderately. Afterwards, Hiro tells the hostess they will be going now when she agrees telling them to please be safe. Hiro then looks at a pamphlet about a matcha mint Oreo latte when the host tells him that's their cafe new menu item when he agrees. She tells him she will give him a cup later when he thinks he now knows why the cafe almost went bankrupt. Just then the hostess says she has something to tell him before he goes. After that they were walking back together when Saintis asks Hiro what did the boss say earlier. Hiro says she said that she's cute when Saintis asks him to stop teasing her. He laughs telling her actually she said she will stop any man who will try to hit on her. Saintis tells him actually there were people who asked for her contact information today but the boss told them off. He says that's a relief when she tells him, but the boss can't say that every time so he needs to show them that she's his. He looks at her thinking if she's talking about a wedding ring. She tells him to please tell her he loves her when he leaves for work in the morning. Stop by during lunchtime before he eats, and tell her he loves her again, and if he thinks of her while he's working then text her that he loves her again. He asks if it's alright if he says that now when she agrees. He then grabs her telling her he loves her when she tells him she loves him too. She loves him very much telling him to say it louder so that everyone in the world can hear it. He smiles and then shouts saying he loves her. Afterwards, she asks he bought 2 whole bags of onions. He tells her they were 3,001 for 2 bags. Buying them was saving money. Tomorrow and the day after are the weekend so 4 meals a day. He then looks at a table thinking a small figurine. Did the Saintis perhaps got them from a capsule vending machine in front of the nearby stationery store? Just then he tells her there's no space for keeping these 3 animals in the living room. She should let them go when she gets surprised. She tells him there's no way because they're her precious babies. He says he doesn't remember having pets like that when she tells him he hasn't fully regained his memories yet, not even her name. He says come to think of it he thinks they did have pets like these when he asks if their names were Sunga, Jungduri and Siangsam. She giggles telling him he has no talent for naming things. He says he probably inherited that after his grandfather. She says but he gave her such a pretty name when he says that's probably because Saintis' name has to be pretty. He then says apart from her, he doesn't dare to name other people so please name their baby later when she gets embarrassed, and then agrees. He thinks he said it without thinking but this strange atmosphere and it's already 8:30 p.m. If he makes too much noise now then Mrs. Park next door might stab him in the stomach with a pen. He then asks her to let's eat when she agrees telling him tonight's dinner is chicken breast steak. He tells her it looks delicious. The door opens when Center says it is freezing. He tells her he totally forgot today is supposed to be windy. She asks seriously as the weather is freezing. After coming inside Hiro says the wind is like a knife, it is so cold. He takes off his coat when suddenly she grabs his hand telling him his hands are all chapped. He tells her they were fine just a little while ago as it must be the dryness. She tells him to here have a seat when he becomes surprised. Afterwards as there was sitting down Shift puts some cream on his hand when he asks if this isn't her skincare set. Sheet album he is the one who bought it for her. He tells her regular body lotion would have been enough when she tells him if his hands are rough then her hands get uncomfortable holding his too. She then puts the cream on his hand when he looks at Dam saying his hands look so clean now. She looks at his face telling him but his face is chapped too and his lips. He tells her he could apply it himself but it would be an honor if she applies it for him. She starts putting it on his face saying his lips too when he gets all sparkly. He asks all done when she silently looks at him and then says while they are at it let her put some body lotion on him too. He also that's a bit when she tells him he can't reach his own back. She didn't offend to take it off. Afterwards she tells him to lie down on the bed now when he does. She then starts putting the cream on his back when he gets all flustered. After applying sheet also him it is all done when he agrees while brushing. She tells him to now set up because she wants to sit down too when he tells her he can't get up. She asks why not when he tells her because of her while thinking if she is really that clueless, or just pretending not to know. Just when the lights went out when both of them get surprised. She tells him the light went out when he says there is no way today of all days. He then thinks now that he think about it he has never changed the bulbs since he moved in. Did he even buy a new one? Just then she asks if he remembered the underground cave exploration. He asks the Ragama cave when she agrees telling him it was just as dog back then. Haven that led towards the Demon King's casuals or so the rumors said. It was the perfect image of an abyss pitch black and waiting. With no sunlight at all they had to catch glow bugs to use as makeshift torches. She tells him they were kind of cute when he asks if she means those centipede looking things. He thinks centipede is being generous as they were straight of house centipede. Globe bugs stop blowing when they die so they had to keep them alive while they are carrying them. That was really tough. Their bodies glued fluorescent drained and squirmed with hundreds of tiny legs. He was terrified the string holding them together would come loose. She tells him trembling like a leaf was adorable even though he always acts so fearless in front of the Demon King's army but he was scared staff of those little moss-eating bug. He asks if she made him carry them on purpose she then says now that she thinks about it she never used those scandals. They packed turns of candles to prepare for that KV expedition. There was special long-lasting candles that could stay lit for 3 or 4 days, but the expedition ended up taking longer than expected, and they used almost all of them. As a last resort they turned to those glow bugs. He asks why did she save that candle all the way to the end when she tells him it just feels more reassuring having at least one left. He agrees. Fancy Dan Lee. He notices the candle in her hand. She tells him this is the candle she saved back then actually when he asks really. She tells him of course not, he has totally lying as she giggles. She then puts down the candle on the ground and then lets light it up, saying back then she never imagined this kind of future was even possible. Sedan asks if he asked why she didn't use that last candle. He asks if it wasn't so she would feel secure. She tells him that too, but the truth is she thought they might never get out of that cave. He asks if she really thought that. He thinks the same. Through over 100 days of exploration she never stopped supporting him and encouraging him. In that damn sunless cave, if she hadn't been there he think he might have lost his mind, but while he was anxious and scared was the scientist just as scared as he was. She leans onto him when he thinks of course she was. She may be special but she is still human. If they really couldn't escape the cave then he didn't want his last moment to be in total darkness. She wanted the last thing she saw to be his face as she wanted to spend that final moment looking at him. Sometimes when she is really happy she gets scared. Is this a dream, or if she really deserves this kind of happiness? She then tells him this isn't the last dream she would have by lighting that candle in the cave. He hugs her telling her he is right here, telling her he is holding her hand like this. She tells him she knows, but when he tells her he is touching her forearm and brushing her shoulder, and he has kissing her cheek. He then asks her if she knows in dreams they can't grip someone's hand tightly. Dear strength just fades, but he can feel the strength in his grip, so if she still doesn't believe him then they will need a more powerful wake-up call. He hugs her tightly when she tells him she believes him. He says he will give her something so intense that she bolts upright, and if she still doesn't wake up then this must be real life. She said she believes him. Meanwhile at room 3 or 4 she thinks the saint's place is as loud as ever today. Are we paying a favor is really difficult. It's only natural to repair a favor, but the problem is how and how much to express it. Being stored Shanghai isn't good either, but giving back too much can make the other person feel burdened. To those who helped him, Attorney Huang and the team leader, he already thanked Attorney Huang separately, but he hasn't prepared the team leader yet. At least this. He is looking at a cheap house sad when the team leader asks if he could check this out. Just then he gets surprised, telling her perfect timing, he was just about to give her something. He then says this won't be a short conversation, so could they talk while walking, when she agrees, saying if it is going to be a long war talk then maybe they can stop by a cafe after work. She knows a good one. He thinks cafe, as it wouldn't be right to just wrap this up through a quick chat. He then agrees, telling her to let's go together later. Afterwards inside of a cafe they works inside when Hero said this place is a bit dreamy while thinking it is where the scientist works. She asks why, as this place is nice, and it is spacious and comfortable. He thinks the issue is that the lawyer whom the team leader introduced helped resolved was actually about the nationality of his girlfriend, who is going to be his wife, and she happens to be working here part-time, so visiting here together in the evening doesn't seem like a good idea. Someone summarize all that in 3 lines is that they don't know he has a girlfriend at work. Just then the scientist welcomes him when she suddenly looks at the team leader. The team leader looks at her, saying she must be the new part-timer, as she is really pretty. Centers is looking blackly when he thinks her soul is drifting. Just then he thinks that's not right, she is his team leader from work. She saw her in one of his photo albums last time, as he even told her she is getting her co-worker here signing at her, but she doesn't respond. Off towards the team leader tells him to pick a menu when he agrees. Just then the host, the boss of the cafe, looks at him. She understands the situation, thinking if he is here with another woman right now then the saint. She grins when he thinks that is the look on her face. Here Prologus uses to the centers, thinking he will explain everything properly later. The team leader then tells him she has a drink appointment letter, so she would really like to hear what he has to say soon. He agrees, telling her first of all thanks to the lawyer he introduced. How acquaintance application was handled well. She tells him as a token of his gratitude please make sure to use the meal voucher and enjoy it with her boyfriend. The scientist didn't hear it when the team leader tells him he is so kind. She didn't do anything to deserve this, so he should have given it to the liar. He tells her the lawyer said it would go against professional ethics, so she only accepted a thank you, so please use that meal voucher with her boyfriend. Just then the team leader tells him to stop talking about her boyfriend because she doesn't want to feed that jerk's cheek. He asks if she fight again when she tells him he brought up couple rings first, but then said it is too much pressure when she suggested they get matching once, then why bring it up at all. She slams her hand on the table, saying she has not want to talk since she got the meal voucher. She will pay for this meal when he thanks her. He says then let's order, when suddenly Saint appears, telling them she will take their order. Coldness spreads everywhere when the team leader asks if this place isn't usually counter service. The Saint tells her it is an event when the team leader says so that's why the boss brought in such a pretty staff member. She then tells her they will have 1 chamomile and 1 Americano. As she is writing the order, Hero thinks about her. Afterwards the team leader says come to think of it he has really changed since getting a girlfriend. When he asks if he. She says she said it last time too, just change in expression made him way more charming. The way he walk has changed and his shoulders are Twitter, he just seemed more lively overall when he thanks her for her kind words. She tells him guys like him are rare these days, so it is a shame, or does he seem more attractive now that he is taken? He giggles while looking at sentence, thinking now something else is escaping instead of her soul. Just then she grabs his hand, telling him to let her know if he has restocked later. When he asks what. She tells him is going to ditch her boyfriend and switch over to him, when suddenly the whole area falls with heavy ore. He thinks he has choose care to even look in the center's direction. After that the team leader tells thanks Hero for the meal voucher, telling him she has got plans so she will get going. She leaves, telling him to see him tomorrow. Man, Hero sees her off. Just then suddenly Singh disappears behind him, calling him a playboy when he tells her she knows that's not it. She has his superior and the one who introduced him to Attorney Huang. He just gave her the meal voucher when returned and had a quiet drink. Man, she looks away. Just then he hugs her, telling her to please cheer up. It's his fault for upsetting her. As he was hugging her, he asks if she feels a little better now. Just then the boss appears when she calls him up, Playboy, startling both of them. Hiro tells her to join when she should, when she tells him to leave when he should. She then tells them to go on inside. Afterwards, on the way back home, Center Celestial quiet angry at him when he asks if she hasn't had dinner yet. She knows his question when he asks if they shall eat something good. He just happened to have a meal voucher while thinking it is a good thing he bought theirs earlier. Afterwards, inside a restaurant, their food rice when he thinks he is glad he brought her. It looks like she is enjoying it. She is looking happily at the food when he appreciates her for the work, asking if the training is tough. She tells him it's not hard, it was fun until he walked in holding hands with that moment. He says they weren't holding hands when she tells him she had a back of his hand. He'd also that's just how she is, as she just tapped it when she agrees while pouting. He then apologizes to her, asking how long is she going to home. She tells him until she is not made anymore, asking him to have this. He thinks at least she has not that angry, so that's her leave. After eating food, both of them are sitting together when she holds his hand. He asks what's wrong when she tells him it's male still smells. He asks smells like what when she says her smell that's not hers. Just then she grabs his hand and puts set on her inside her arm when he gets embarrassed. She tells him he has to stay like this until the only her send remains while he calls her name. Inside of a cinema, both the Saintess and Hiro walks inside. Hiro asks if this is their seat when she agrees hesitantly. After settling down, he tells her it will start in 10 minutes. She tells him she's excited for the movie. She wonders what it will be like, screen filled with dreams and hope, when he laughs, thinking she's expecting too much. He then thinks lately, he has been working overtime so much that they haven't had a proper date in ages. He brought her to the theater for the first time. He intentionally booked an easy-to-watch animation, wondering if it's going to be a bit childish, but still she will probably enjoy it. He then asks her to open her mouth, feeding her popcorns when she tells him it's delicious. He tells her it has cheese powder sprinkled on it. She tells him the corn she remembers was always grilled or was in soup, but they can eat it this way too when he agrees. After a while, the room gets filled with children and people when Hiro wonders if it's because it's an animation movie. There are quite a few kids even on a weekday morning. He then tells her it's getting darker. It looks like it's about to start. The movie starts when he looks at it, thinking he just looked at the title and booked it in a hurry, but this is what it's about. The movie is about a Saintess and Hiro. The movie starts when Hiro looks at her, thinking she's watching it with great interest. She must be even more engrossed because it's like their story. Saintess is pretty engrossed in the film when he looks at her, thinking watching her expression is even more entertaining. After the movie ends, he asks if she enjoyed it when she agrees, telling him it was so much fun. He says he's glad she enjoyed it when she agrees, saying it was even better because it had a happy ending. She's so glad the Hiro and the Saintess ended up being happy. He wonders if their story will also have a happy ending. He then disagrees, thinking not an ending, he will make it a story of continuous happiness. Inside a departmental store, they were looking and taking a stroll through different aisles when suddenly she tells him to look. There are so many different home appliances. He asks home appliances, asking if there's some kind of event going on. He looks at an expo, telling her it is an expo for newlyweds. She asks newlyweds, saying it's just like them. Those people must also be overwhelmed with happiness when he asks if they shall go take a look. She agrees happily. She then asks the shopkeeper how much is this pretty refrigerator for when Hiro asks if they shall take a look. They then look at the price tag as they both get surprised, saying they have to pay a huge price for pretty things. Just as they were looking at things, a guy says whom should he use as a model. They want him to take photos for the wedding expo promotion. He's LC Electronics Expo photographer when he thinks the photos will be quick to take, but the problem is that using models doesn't feel natural. He can't capture the genuine, loving couple concept for models. If he's just going to photograph moderate people brightly, then he might as well use mannequins. He wonders if there's a newlywed couple somewhere who would fit that concept well when he looks at her and Saintess. Looking at them, he claps his hands, saying he found them. He then calls both of them, catching both Hiro and Saintess off guard. After the explanation, Hiro asks a photo shoot when the photographer agrees, saying he needs to take pictures of a loving newlywed couple. They both seem perfect for it in his eyes, especially Saintess, since she has an exotic yet elegant aura. On top of that, a Korean and a refugee, a soon-to-be married couple who overcame prejudice. The struggles and dreams behind the beauty of the two people. Hiro thinks the focus will probably be on Saintess rather than him. In a wedding, the bride usually stands out anyway, so he wonders if a photo shoot is alright. Seeing that they even gave him a business card, it probably isn't a shady company. He asks the Saintess what does she thinks. Her opinion matters the most. After some time at the shoot area, the photographer tells them to look at the camera. He starts taking photos of them. Both of them are dressed up as a newly married couple when he looks at her in a wedding dress, thinking the white dress suits her so well. The photographer tells her to smile a little brighter when Hiro thinks she's like a pure white bride itself. Even such a simple dress looks this good on her. If the Saintess wears a fancy and beautiful dress on their actual wedding day and comes to him with a beautiful smile. Just then the photographer calls him, telling him his expression is too dazed. Let's do it again. After that they complete the photo shoot when the photographer thanks them for their hard work. Hiro says it was tough when Saintess disagrees, telling him it's a little hot though. The photographer tells them it's scheduled to be used for the next event's promotion and might even be uploaded to YouTube. Hiro agrees, telling him he heard from the staff earlier. The photographer tells him they were really able to get some really great photos. He thanks them, saying he really doesn't know from where such a lovely couple like them came from, but he's so grateful to them. Especially Miss Saintess, she gave him so much inspiration. She has a story to the photos. Both of them smiles when the photographer says he has taken up too much of their time. He added a lot, so use this to buy something delicious. Hiro tells him it's alright when the photographer tells him they were the ones who insisted them taking for the photos. It's a small token of their appreciation, so please use it when they go on a date. After that, Hiro asks Saintis how was today for her when she tells him it was really fun. It was so amazing that the staff styled her hair and did her makeup so beautifully. She wondered if it would feel like this on their wedding day too. Today felt like a rehearsal. The movie was fun too, and there were so many kids. She feels like they got a head start on practicing to become a family today. Next time, when they will watch a movie, she wants to come with their child too. She whispers that in his ear when he gets flustered. She then tells him his ears has turned red while he thinks her face is red too. The next day, inside of a gym, everyone is looking at the Saintis when Saintis says she didn't know there were clothes specifically made for working out comfortably. Hiro thinks today is one of his regular workout days. The Saintis said she wanted to come too, so he brought her along. Saintis then asks him if she lifts that now. He says if she lifts something like that the wrong way, then it would be dangerous. She should start with something light for now when she agrees. After lifting 4 kg, she tells him even though it's only 4 kilograms, it's quite heavy when he agrees, saying heavier than it looks. He tells her to grip it a bit for firmly when she agrees. He tells her she needs to engage her back, so straighten a bit more. Now lower her arms and raise them back up when she asks like this while trying. He bursts out laughing when she asks him not to laugh because it's her first time using modern workout machinery, while he agrees. He then tells her he found a YouTuber's channel for beginners. She can follow along with this when she says she never thought to look for this on YouTube. She then looks at the video when he thinks she's so cute. He tells her then he will go do his own workout now. She should take her time and come to him when she's done when she agrees. Afterwards, he's doing his workout, thinking recently he started working out along with controlling his diet. Before he met the Saintis, he was a pathetic shut and wasting his days off, but now he's trying to improve himself. Of course, he's still clumsy and struggling, as he should probably sign up for personal training soon. He thinks it's important to feel a sense of achievement by trying new things. He then looks around wondering where's the Saintis when he gets surprised to see her surrounded. He thinks just as he thought when some guys ask Saintis to help, but she disagrees, telling them she's actually working out with her husband. She waves at him when Hiro waves back at her. All the guy leaves saying she's married. Afterwards, Hiro is working out with the Saintis when she tells him he has got this. He's struggling for a bit when she gives him a smooch, telling him it's a present for his hard work. He gets all flustered, thinking if he gets rewards like this then he can't help but push himself harder. She tells him only a few more to go, as he should keep it up when he thanks her. After doing his workout, he drinks water, saying nothing beats cold water after a workout. Just then she takes his bottle, asking him to let her have a sip too. She drinks from his straw when he says if she acts so cute then it's hard for him to handle. She tells him maybe it feels even more refreshing because it's the water Hiro drank. He tells her to let's wrap it up with a light stretch and head home when she says that sounds good. After gym, she tells him the sun is already setting. Time flies when they work out and shop afterwards. He agrees, saying it feels like they spent the day well. She says but her arms and legs feels like jelly when he agrees, saying same here, that's why he bought this at the store. She asks what is it when he takes out chicken breast, telling her after working those muscles they have to eat protein. That way their muscles recover faster. She says so that's why he eat it often when he giggles. She then clings onto his arm, saying then today she will cook him a nice dinner with this when he says that sounds great. She tells him she's getting her first paycheck in a few days and she has decided what she wants to do with it. Join the same gym as him when he says that sounds great. She tells him she looked it up and there are lots of workouts popular among women. Yoga, Pilates, Vinyasa. He tells her Vinyasa is a type of yoga, as he thinks she needs to find a workout that suits her. She agrees, saying she wants to live a long and healthy life with him when he agrees. He then thinks imagining a future with her, a healthy, happy life. A life that doesn't make them sad. Just like what the Saintis said, they must live long and happily together, they definitely will. First, he needs to find a workout with as few guys around as possible. Afterwards, at home Saintis gives him food, telling him she grilled chicken breast and then added some sauce. He looks at the food, saying that looks so delicious while thanking her for the meal. They both then starts eating. At night, both of them are lying on the bed when Hiro thinks some reason he can't fall asleep tonight, wondering what's going on. Just then Saintis' stomach grumbles when he calls her. His stomach grumbles too when he thinks his stomach too. He then turns on the light, telling her she's hungry, as he guessed one chicken breast wasn't enough. She feels embarrassed, telling him she's not usually like this, but she thinks she worked out too much. He says they can't sleep when they're hungry, so he guesses they have no choice when she agrees. He then says tomorrow is a day off too, as he prepares ramen. He says they will just work out harder tomorrow, as he can't help being hungry when she agrees, telling him to let's dig in. The strong aroma spreads everywhere. Ryder Park is passing by the hallway, thinking it looks like the Saintis and Hiro are making ramen for a late night snack. Hiro is breathing heavily when he walks inside the cafe. He looks at Saintis sitting with a man as he calls her name. Before getting off work, he thinks there's 10 minutes until the end of his shift. Should he go grocery shopping with the Saintis? Just then he receives a notification, thinking she messaged him. She texts him, telling him she was working at the cafe when a man came up and told her she was pretty. He said he wanted to do a photo shoot when he wonders if it's like that wedding photo shoot from before. He texts her what kind of photo shoot is it when she tells him he said it's for a Coffee Bean TV broadcast. Just then Hiro thinks Coffee Bean TV, wondering if that isn't a really low tier channel. He texts her to tell that guy to get lost while getting angry. She says but when she mentioned about him he said he would like to meet him too. Hiro texts her then he will head straight to her cafe after work. After sitting down, Hiro asks the guy who is he and why is he trying to get close to his Saintis. The guy laughs, telling him he must be Yusha, her husband. Hiro thinks just one look and he reeks of creepiness. Why is he acting all familiar calling him Yusha so casually? The guy tells him what they want is the saintess when Hiro thinks not to even dare speak her name. He wonders if her beauty's so famous that it reached that shady industry too. Bet he wants to lure him in with money. Coming all the way to her workplace. The guy tells him he forgot to introduce himself as he takes out his card. Hiro looks at it thinking a platform like that has business cards. The guy tells him he is from Witcherbox TV when suddenly Hiro lashes out at him telling him to get lost before he does anything disgusting. He calls him a filthy adult content guy when suddenly the guy looks at him in utter confusion. After understanding the whole situation, Hiro apologizes saying he thought he was just saying something shady. The guy laughs telling him it's fine, they're an MCN for YouTubers and streamers. Regular folks often confuse their industry so it happens a lot. Not Coffee Bean TV, their YouTuber is going to advertise a coffee bean company that will appear on TV. They were asking if the saintess could appear as a regular panel guest when Hiro apologizes once again. Guy tells him it's alright. Getting misunderstood like this is kind of refreshing and now he knows just how much he cares about her. Saintess giggles when the guy says as he can see, on his card he runs a small company called Witcherbox. Hiro thinks that's actually a pretty big name when the guy says he was looking for a good model recently and browsed through several YouTubes. Just then he came across a newlywed expo video and the couple was just stunning. It was them so he wanted to include him even briefly. Hiro thinks they only appeared for like 3 seconds, but he still spotted her. The guy says he asked the other directors from where he could find such an exotic beauty. When he showed the video at the meeting, the reaction was great. Her face could really blow up on YouTube or social media. Saintess asks her when the guy tells her he already sent the video to the coffee company. The chances are high that they will like it too. He's confident that they will. Just then Saintess says she can't believe this. People have always said nice things about her face when Hiro tells her it's not flattery. She's the most beautiful person he has ever seen. The guy says they have a lot of female YouTubers too, so they also do beauty and fashion content. With luck those companies might take an interest too. Hiro tells him, but it's tricky to sign a contract right away since she's still a refugee. They're unsure if legal protections would apply if something goes wrong. The guy says if they're concerned about that then why don't they come visit their studio in person? The address is on his card. Hiro looks at it saying it's about an hour from their home so they could go. Saintess tells him then they will stop by this weekend and decide after they check it out as the guy tells them that sounds great. Just mention his name, show the card and they will let them in. He will also give them a tour of the company when they arrive. At Saturday both of them arrives at the designated location when Saintess says the building is bigger than she expected. Hiro agrees when she says so this is where they do all the shooting. He tells her he has never seen a setup like this before while thinking they have got a decent number of celebrities too. He thinks while even the cafe owner was freaking out as he remembers she said what's there to think about. Witcherbox is huge. She tells them while they're at it, promote their cafe too when he thinks that wasn't the goal though. Saintess then tells him to look over there as she points towards a banner. She tells him that person when Hiro thinks they still don't know with whom the Saintess will be shooting with. What if it's with a handsome guy like that? The Saintess tells him that outfit as if it doesn't look like it would suit him really well. He asks really while thinking what's wrong with him. What a terrible thought. Just as they were looking around the guy calls both of them thanking them for coming when both of them greets him. The guy tells them this is their studio. YouTubers shoot or relax here. She tells him it's really spacious and beautiful when the guy says the coffee bean company wanted to meet them too so they invited them today. They just need to show their face briefly so no pressure when both of them agree. The guy tells them he will go grab some drinks so have a seat in the meeting room over there as they both agrees. Afterwards the Hui tells them their manager is here so come in. A beautiful looking guy apologizes for being late introducing himself as Jin Woo Bin. Hiro looks at him thinking he's handsome. He introduces himself while the Saintess does too. Hiro thinks what's up with his name right now when Jin tells Saintess she's just as pretty and well presented as he had heard. Hiro thinks he feels like he has seen this guy somewhere. Someone that good looking is hard to forget. Jin tells her he brought some light snacks since they were coming as he presents them to her when she thanks him. Hiro thinks he's handsome and he has manners. This is really his first time meeting him. Jin then says now then let him explain about the contract. She will be filming with one of their YouTubers. The pay will be this much. She should wear something neat like today as in short they would love for her to join without feeling pressured. Saintess says it doesn't sound bad to her when Hiro says same here. Jin tells them to then let's schedule the shoot for some time next week asking if they have any questions. Hiro raises his hand and was about to say something when Saintess tells Jin she does. She says she wanted to ask Mr. Jin something asking if he's a YouTuber by any chance. Jin says she figured it out telling her he runs a cooking channel. She tells him she watches cooking videos on YouTube sometimes. She thought he looked familiar when she first saw him. Hiro thinks that time Saintess showed it to him briefly that's why he remembered him. Jin tells them he runs a small channel called Jin Was Daiki Cooking when the guy says it's not that small. He has 700,000 subscribers. She will be filming the coffee bean ad with him. He wanted it to be a surprise but Saintess figured it out first. Hearing that Hiro thinks wait, that means those two will be doing a shoot together. After that they are walking back when Saintess tells him the restaurant they went to for lunch was really good. Come to think of it, what the gift Woo-bin gave to them today. Hiro is looking out of it when she says it's some delicious looking chocolate. Hiro sighs thinking the contract went well today and the company treated them to a nice lunch. He should be feeling good but strangely he's not. Can emotions really change in just a few hours? Seeing the Saintess and Woo-bin speak comfortably with each other, just because they look good together, is that enough reason for him to feel this down? Let's say someone was making a romance drama then who would be the male lead and female lead? Of course it would be the Saintess and Jin Woo-bin. He's just an extra in this world. He know very well what level his face and body are, but the Saintess is someone who is the main character wherever she goes, a gem that shines brightly. The wedding shoot last time happened because of the Saintess too. That's only natural. The Saintess's beauty draws everyone's attention. If the Saintess is the main dish, then he's just an appetizer before that, maybe just a sip of water. The fact that the Saintess loves him, the fact that she calls him her husband. Even though he knows all that, he still doesn't feel any better. Is he really this petty and pathetic? He's pretty popular in this world, and even the department head thinks he's a decent guy. He's not terribly ugly either, but Jin Woo-bin is just too handsome. That guy is on a whole different level, like beyond human. Just as he was thinking that, she keeps on calling his name when she suddenly shouts, startling him. He asks yes when she asks what is he thinking about. She then clings on to his arm, saying since it's not that cold today, should they walk a bit more before heading back? Let's go on a date like before they could go to Cheonggyecheon. Hiro stays silent when he apologizes, telling her he's not feeling well today. She asks what as if he has a fever or something. He apologizes to her in his thoughts for being such a petty man. He disagrees, saying he thinks it's because he's been working late these days, so he just feels a little tired. Saintess says then does that mean she dragged him out here without even realizing he wasn't feeling well? She should have just come alone. When he disagrees, telling her he's glad they came out together. He thinks if he had found out on the spot that she would be taking pictures with a handsome guy, then he might have fainted from the shock, telling her he's just a little tired. She tells him she doesn't want him to get sick when he tells her to let's hurry home then. Afterwards, Hiro is lying on his bed thinking maybe they shouldn't have come home. The Saintess even tucked him in and told him to rest. His mind keeps spiraling with bad thoughts. Why are there so many handsome guys in this world? All those YouTubers are so well dressed and cool. Well, the Saintess's standards will go up too. He will work harder. After a bit, he suddenly gasps, waking up thinking he fell asleep without realizing it. He turns around and sees Saintess sitting beside him looking at him. He tells her he dozed off for a bit when she says she was watching his sleeping face. She thought he looked so lovely as he slept. He asks him when she says it reminded her of when she lifted the insomnia curse from him and he finally fell into a peaceful sleep. She was so relieved just by watching him. He tells her thinking about that moment still makes him feel guilty when she says but she was so happy. He called her name a lot in his sleep as he kept on saying Saintess. She then ruffles his hair, saying his sleeping face, she never gets tired of looking at it. Just like she feels happiness from watching him sleep, she wonders if he feels the same way looking at her. If so, then she will feel like floating away with joy. When she came to this world she lost most of her powers, but the one power she still have left is the power to love and heal just one person, and that's him. She picks up his hand and then kisses it when he gets sad, thinking what kind of horrible thoughts was he having about someone like her. He then covers himself with the bedsheet when she asks if he's crying or if he's hurt somewhere. He thinks this is embarrassing, really embarrassing. Woo-bin isn't what he should be worrying about right now. What he should really be thinking about is his own inferiority complex. He then calls her when she agrees. He apologizes when she says she isn't sure what he's sorry about, but sometimes they can feel the need to cry out and shake off any bad feelings. She asks if he managed to shake it off when he agrees, telling her he has shaken it off. She says then she's glad to hear that. He then sits up, telling her he's going to wash up and then let's go out on a date. She asks if he's feeling well now. He tells her he has been completely healed thanks to her when she says that's great, they should go on a date then. She then tells him before they go let's have a piece of chocolate because something sweet is good for the body. It gives them energy. She opens the box saying it looks so pretty and delicious. She wanted to give it to him, some asking him to say. He opens his mouth telling her it tastes 1,000,000 times better because she fed it to him. She tells him he's the best. She asks if she wants more when he agrees, saying but there's something that looks even more tastier than chocolate. He won't hold back then as he kisses her. She then asks him to let's go now when he asks where does she wants to go. Next day inside the studio, Saintess and Hiro looks at it while admiring it. Saintess says this is amazing when Hiro tells her it's his first time seeing a studio like this. Just then the director calls her, telling him this is the script so please read it through. She doesn't need to memorize it perfectly, but they have underlined the words she must say. Don't feel pressured since it will be added when she agrees, telling him she will read through it. The guy asks Hiro to please help her feel at ease so she doesn't get nervous when he agrees. Just then Woo-bin walks inside the room saying it's been a while. Hiro looks at him thinking he's glowing as he should stop messing around. Hiro tells her they were thinking of going for a quick drink when he looks at her reading the script. He gets surprised thinking she's actually memorizing it seriously. After some time, the director tells them it's starting. Woo-bin introduces himself while the Saintess greets everyone. Woo-bin says today they invited Saintess, who's going viral on social media as the goddess of the head office complex. Hiro thinks he didn't realize Saintess was this popular. Seeing it now, Woo-bin is a real pro too. He's managing to lead a broadcast rookie like Saintess so smoothly. He's even guiding her so that she can say all the important keywords despite her nervousness. Why did he act so awkward in front of a true professional like him, as he feels gloomy but still? Saintess is speaking her part when the director looks at her saying she's not too bad for a beginner. He tells her now that he's watching the video she's missing the calm and gentle charm she usually shows in conversation. She still looks stunning, but it's such a waste not to show that charm. Saintess apologizes when the director tells her not to worry since it will be edited, they can always record it if she stumbles. He asks if they should take a short break as she sounds a bit hoarse from talking all nervous like that. She agrees. After that, Saintess is drinking water when Hiro tells her to relax. She tells him she's not that nervous when he agrees while thinking she is literally trembling. He tells her if it's too much they can stop anytime. He will find a way to smooth things over when she disagrees, telling him it's okay. She's happy right now. He looks at her when she tells him in the world from where they came from there was no such thing as videos, so they couldn't preserve time like this, but now her image can be captured on video and bring joy to others for a long, long time. She tells him she would love to make a video with him sometime soon so that they can capture all these memories. It's like preserving their time together. He calls her when she says she thinks he can help her calm her nerves. He asks what would she like him to do when she tells him this while kissing him. Afterwards, the director asks if she's sure she's okay. Saintis agrees, telling him she's totally fine. The director tells her to let's start again. Woobin then asks her if she's alright when she agrees. Afterwards, Saintis says these coffee beans were carefully selected by their company. It's coffee for happy days. When Woobin asks her what does happiness means to her, she tells him she thinks happiness is an energy that comes from within and can be shared with others. Maybe it's because she's from another world, but being able to do things from someone she loves feels like a miracle to her. Life here still feels unfamiliar sometimes, but whether it's here in Korea or where she used to live, there's a universal way to express how they feel. She then tells him they use these same beans at the cafe where she works part-time at. It's called upstairs, so if they're nearby please drop in when Hero thinks nice self promo. Afterwards, during evening, Woobin tells them to take care on their way home. Saintis thanks him for dropping them off when Hero thinks he even dropped them all the way back to their neighborhood. He's such a nice guy. Woobin tells them it's nothing because his boyfriend lives nearby. It was on the way. Hero thinks a handsome guy with a boyfriend. As Woobin leaves, Saintis tells Hero this place really is open-minded. Woobin's boyfriend is apparently super buff. When he thinks so, that's his type. He says filming took longer than expected, asking if she wants to go rest. She tells him that sounds good. Afterwards, Saintis is taking a bath while Hero says let's tidy up the jackets now. He opens the closet when he notices something, thinking what's this box? He has never seen it before. He takes out the box and then opens it when he finds knitting supplies there. He thinks why are these here, wondering if could this be what Saintis meant by expressing her feelings. A sweater knitted with love. Maybe it's best to pretend he didn't see it. Just as he was putting it back, Saintis walks out of the bathroom telling him he can go take a bath now. He tells her he got it while thinking it's a warm feeling that transcends all worlds. A few days later, Hero is looking at his computer thinking she said it will be uploaded soon, and here it is. It's 18 minutes long, but she's only in it for like 3 minutes. He looks at her part thinking she looks so beautiful. Most of the feedback is positive too, so what a relief. He thinks she's just too cute as he's screenshotting everything. The team leader looks at him thinking why is he so excited. Meanwhile, at cafe upstairs, Saintis welcomes the customers. She tells them the cafe is full right now, so unfortunately they can't seat anyone inside. The boss says even takeout orders usually take over 30 minutes. People flooded into the cafe after watching the video when the boss says her promo really worked wonders, while Saintis agrees. The next day, inside the office, everyone is looking at the clock. The moment the clock struck 5, a guy stands up saying the boss says anyone who has finished their work can leave early. Suddenly, the team leader quickly rushed towards the exit, telling everyone she's heading out first. They say the boss is the best. Hero thinks that's right. Today is December 24th, Christmas Eve. He tells everyone he's heading out too while thinking such an exciting, fluttery day. Of course, for the old him, Christmas would have been a day to just sleep at home all day, but now it's different. He hopes it's a day that brings blessings to everyone. He arrives home saying he's home when Saintis looks at him saying he's back. He asks if she's already getting things ready for the party. He told her they can do it together after he got off work today. She tells him she was so excited as she just couldn't wait. He tells her he will help her too. After that, both of them are blowing balloons when he says it's all done. He then rubs a balloon on her hair saying static electricity attack on her hair. She asks honestly, telling him he should have some too. He then asks her to come here. He will brush it off for her when she agrees. Afterwards, he's brushing her hair while she's blowing balloons. He tells her to please turn on the mood light when she agrees. The mood light was a wedding gift from Ryder Park in the next room just a few days ago. It's really practical since it helps set the perfect mood. The atmosphere is really nice when she says she's so excited. He tells her to let's open that wine they bought last time. She tells him she's having too much fun. What should she do when he tells her if she has a glass of this then she will have even more fun as he puts drinks. He tells her it must be good wine since they bought it from the department store. The aroma is wonderful as well. She tells him it feels like the whole room has filled with its scent. Both of them then cheers and drinks. After drinking wine, Saintis is lying on his lap when he tells her if she's sleepy then she can go ahead and sleep. She tells him not yet when he asks not yet. Just then she quickly gets up saying done when he in confusion looks at her. Just then she takes out the box telling him it's his Christmas present. She even set an alarm so she could give it to him exactly at midnight. He tells her he's so touched while thinking pretend that he doesn't know. He opens the box and sees a knitted scarf and a pair of mittens. He asks if she really knitted all of this herself when she agrees, telling him she made everything while thinking of him. She then gives it to him when he wears it, telling her it's so warm and comfortable. He will wear it every day. She tells him then she will be grateful, but it's not over yet. She takes out another box when he thinks he hasn't seen that before. He then opens the box saying it's a necktie when she tells him to please look this way as she will tie it for him. He agrees while thinking she's so beautiful. She's so precious and lovely that he hesitates even to touch her. Just looking at her makes his heart ache. His most precious and beloved person. As he was looking at her, she calls his name when he agrees. She tells him from now on every morning before he goes to work she will tie his tie like this. He tells her if she does that then he will be able to head to work full of energy every morning. A tie that Saintis picked out for him along with her scarf and gloves she made herself. He will be overflowing with energy from head to toe. She tells him actually she wanted to dress him up completely from head to toe when he tells her he's very grateful for that. She says she wants to feed him only the meals she makes, dress him only in the clothes she makes, and have him sleep only in a bed she has made. He then calls her telling her he should give her his present too when she says she's excited. He tells her this is for her when she says she wonders what it could be. She opens the box saying it's a beautiful wallet. She then thanks him telling him she will treasure it. Well, let's put in the receipt from that restaurant they went to together, and the receipt from when they went out to have fun too. He thinks she said she holds on to their memories so she didn't even throw away a single receipt. She kept them all. Instead of money, she's filling it with receipts telling her there's one more present. She looks at him when he tells her it's an album filled with all the photos they have taken together so far. She asks when did he do all this as she looks at the photos saying they have made so many memories. She tells him he even kept photos of things as she stumbles upon a photo with their past members. He tells her the photo was taken by a passerby before and for the drawing next to it, he asked writer Park to illustrate it for them. Looking at her past comrades, he gets all emotional. Tears start flowing through her eyes when he thinks Saintis came to this world to meet him, but even so she must miss them. The companions, she can no longer see. The precious bonds she holds dear. He asks her to please turn to the next page too when she agrees. She then looks at a photo saying, "On Nim," as she starts crying. He says On was a harsh god to Saintis, a god who took away her name, denied her specialness and bestowed countless trials upon her, but at the same time she was her mother. She nurtured and raised her entire life. The mother who in the end couldn't stop Saintis from leaving to come to him. Saintis hugs him tightly telling him she would stroke her forehead with a gentle breeze as she fell asleep. She would bloom into mushrooms and flowers when she was hungry and flow into springs and rivers when she was thirsty because she was her only daughter. In the end, she just wanted to prove that he was right. It was undoubtedly a miracle that Saintis was able to persuade tens of thousands of magpies and crows, but is there such a thing as a miracle untouched by God? He can't begin to imagine what it must feel like to miss their mother in the entire world, but with the sense of loss he felt before Saintis came here, he can grasp just barely a fragment of the longing she must carry. She tells him when she left her world, the heart of those precious to her slowly took root within her own, but now these people are here with her, with Hiro and in this small room too. Even though they might grumble about how cramped it is, if Hiro hadn't told her that those dear to her are right beside her, then she might have remained trapped in an endless empty longing. She thanks him saying she never imagined she would receive a gift like this. The next day, December 25th, Christmas Day, Hiro and the Saintis are walking together when Saintis says maybe because it's Christmas, there are so many people out. He asks if they shall go too when she agrees happily. Today is Christmas, he decided to go on a date with Saintis. It's something they usually do often, but somehow today feels different. Maybe because it's a special day. He then grabs her face saying it's chilly when she says she thought her nose was going to fall off. He says if it's okay would she like to take the stairs one floor at a time when she says it sounds good. At the fourth floor they arrive at the game plaza when she's looking inside with great curiosity. He asks if she wants to go in when she gets startled telling him it's fine. He tells her they still have time before the restaurant reservation. They can play for a bit when she says just for a little while then. He thinks Saintis surprisingly likes flashy and fun stuff when she tells him to go over there. A girl is playing whack-a-mole when Saintis asks if it doesn't look like that poor mole would get hurt. He tells her it's okay, it's just a doll. She asks the doll, now that she looks at it, it does seems a bit stiff. He asks if she would like to try it later too when she agrees telling him it looks fun. She then says there are so many dolls in there when he tells her they control the claw to pick up a doll when he says he will try to get her one of Seongdana, Yeongdori or Songsam from there. She says she loves it when he tries it while thinking, why is it so expensive? She tells him they have to bring the hero home. He thinks it's the fourth one so that's why it's hero. He then puts in the token saying let's try it. Just as he picks up one, the toy falls off at the very last moment when she says that's so close. He thinks not to be so disappointed, this thing doesn't work on the first try anyway. It takes several attempts to bring home Hero Jr. He tries another thinking he wonders if he will be able to get it his time. This is the most nervous he has been since his battle with the Demon King when Saintis shouts for Hero Jr. He says here he goes while thinking he pressed it too early but still he catches the toy. Saintis says he did it when he thinks he has no idea how that happened. She tells him just as expected of him, he got it for her when he agrees while thinking maybe she's actually the goddess of timing. Afterwards they tried different games enjoying their time together. At night, they are sitting inside the restaurant with a wonderful view. Saintis asks him to look outside as it's as beautiful as the Milky Way galaxy. She says by the way he brought the lock. Why does people hang locks on fences and railings? He tells her they say it's a tradition here at Namsun Tower called the Love Lock. They hang the lock on the railing and throw the key down to promise eternal love. She tells him it's such a romantic story. How many couples who hung locks here at Namsun Tower have broken up since? He used to think cynically like that, but since they live in the moment. Promising eternity like this is a beautiful kind of romance. He tells her actually he brought one too, telling her they say the souvenir shop sells locks too, but he wanted one that would never break so he bought a strong one from the hardware store. He then gives her a marker asking if there's anything she wants to write, then go ahead when she agrees. He then looks at her thinking she's writing so hard, which is so adorable, asking if he can read it. She tells him not yet because it's embarrassing. Read it when they hang it later as their food arrives. Afterwards, at the tower Hero says it's packed so they have to find a spot to hang it. She tells him she thinks it would look nice over there when he tells her that's a good spot. He says he will hang it here then as he reads what's on it. He wonders what she wrote when he reads it saying may her heart always be with him. He puts it on the fence saying it's snowing as everyone looks up. He thinks the weather forecast didn't mention anything about it today, a white Christmas. As he is looking at the snow he looks at Saintis looking at him. She calls him when he agrees. She asks him to place his heart on hers too when he says if that's her command then he would gladly as he hugs her tightly. Christmas has come and gone, and now it's time to say goodbye to the year. He asks Saintess to please be careful getting out when she agrees. The Saintess says they came to a hot spring hotel. A few days ago, Hiro says seriously no year-end bonus again this year. The manager tells him the company said he needs to use his remaining leaves as it starts tomorrow. Just then Saintess tells him didn't they agree, no looking at his phone while brushing his teeth. He looks at her telling her the company gave him some time off so he can rest for the next few days, asking where should they go. She gets happy asking really, that sounds great. It just so happens that tomorrow is also her first payday. He tells her that's perfect while thinking tomorrow is her first payday. It looks like the president even covered the Thai gift for Christmas. He tells her to let's decide where to go after their shower. Since it's just a short 2-day 1-night trip, how about a hot spring? She asks a hot spring as if that's one of those baths with hot water. He tells her he thinks kind of but not exactly. If possible let's look for a place with a couple's bath, telling her this one looks nice. She agrees saying it really does. He says it looks like they can book it for tomorrow, asking should they, when she agrees saying then she needs to start packing right away. He says that sounds good. Afterwards, Hiro is checking his essentials. He kept telling her they will provide towels there. As he was checking he asks Saint if she doesn't have a swimsuit, does she? She says a swimsuit, asking if she needs one. He says if she doesn't, that's fine too, when she gets all flustered. She then asks why does she needs a swimsuit, tell her when he says he mean it's not like they have to wear swimsuits. He just thought they might need them for the couple's bath at the hotel, don't she thinks they would bring some just in case when she gets embarrassed, telling him they do need them. He says he heard some shops even the hotel sells swimsuits too, but is this really a swimsuit, as she's looking at the phone. She asks him if there's something else when he says something else, showing her different varieties. He tells her to look at this as it barely covers the essentials when suddenly she puts her hand on his eyes, telling him to stop, that one is forbidden. He then thinks she's seriously shy when she tells him she will go with this. He looks at it saying this one is cute too when she says just thinking that she will be the one wearing it feels kind of embarrassing. He tells her he's looking forward to it when she tells him not to look forward to it too much. He says he knows just going with her is more than enough for him when she agrees. The day of the reservation at the hot spring hotel, Saintess says she wants to go over there first. He tells her then let's wash their feet and give it a try when she agrees. After that both of them are sitting together with their feet underwater. He then tells her to go ahead and change into her swimsuit first. He will start filling the bath up when she agrees. Just as he's filling it up, he thinks this is taking way longer than he thought. He then calls Saintess saying that he thinks it's about time when he looks at her lying on the ground wearing her swimsuit. He looks at her thinking if she falls asleep while waiting. That swimsuit looks amazing on her, as if he should surprise her a little. He then picks her up, and then slowly puts her in the water when she wakes up, asking if she fall asleep. He tells her she did just like Sleeping Beauty. If she hadn't woken up, then he was going to break the spell with a kiss. She says no, asking if she should have stayed asleep. He tells her he will wake her up with a kiss tomorrow morning when she agrees. She then says maybe it's because it's hot spring water, but it feels a bit different. It's so soft and smooth. He says this is his first time at a hot spring too, the water is really nice. She then asks what's that round thing when he tells her it's a bath bomb. He totally forgot to put it in, so he will add it now. After putting it inside, the whole water fills with bubbles when he says he forgot something else too. He grabs a towel when she asks if he's leaving. He disagrees, telling her to let her hair down for a second like this. He then puts the towel on her hair when she says she turned into a sheep. She will make one for him too when he tells her to please do. He then explains to her how to do it when she tells him he looks so cute. He tells her she's the one who's way cuter than him. Afterwards, both of them are sitting together when he says this is so nice. Right now the touch of the water against his skin is indescribably soft and ticklish. Their holiday may be short or long depending on how they look at it. 5 days, and just like that they cherish the time they had together. The next day Hiro wakes up when he looks at Saintess sleeping peacefully. He thinks she's still asleep while thinking even her sleeping face is adorable. She looked so beautiful yesterday too. When summer comes they should go to the Caribbean Valley or the beach together. Just then Saintess wakes up asking when did he woke up when he tells her he just got up a little while ago. He thinks it was an unexpected vacation, asking if they shall start packing up and get ready to head out as she agrees. He's just grateful he can still remember Dale. Today is December 31st, the weather is cold but it's clear and refreshing. Looking up at the sky on the last day of the year makes him feel strangely sentimental. He then looks at Saintess thinking maybe because she slept late last night she's still asleep right now. He should take this chance to call his parents. He calls his dad when his dad picks up asking if that's him. Hiro agrees, asking where his mother. His dad tells him she went to the salon, asking why the sudden call. Hiro tells him it's the end of the year as he wanted to check in on them. He asks if the Saintess's gifts arrived safely when he agrees, saying his mom even nagged him to take it this morning, asking if they're coming home for the new year. Hiro agrees, telling him he will call him in advance before he comes when his father tells him he would really like his grandfather to finally see his granddaughter-in-law this time. Hiro tells him he got it as he will try to arrange the schedules. His father then tells him to take care and look after his wife well when Hiro agrees, telling him to take it easy too. He then ends the call thinking he should also check in with Ryder Park. He knocks at her door when she comes outside, asking him what's the matter. Hiro tells her it's nothing big, as he just wanted to give her an end-of-year gift that he bought during his hot spring trip. She tells him he didn't have to, asking him to hold on for a second. She then dashes inside and then tells him these are Hanem sweet potatoes. She tried them and they were super sweet, so share them with the Saintess. He thanks her, telling her he will enjoy them when she asks if they both have any plans for today. He tells her they traveled a lot yesterday, so today they're just planning to laze around together. She tells him she's going to her parents' place for the first time in a while. It's early, but Happy New Year. He says Happy New Year to her too. He's wishing her lots of luck in the new year. She then asks if he's also going to see the sunrise, where from. He tells her Sonido Park, it's close by. She tells him but she heard they were restricting access there because of the crowds when he asks really. She tells him so does he wants to come to her hometown because there's a hidden sunrise hotspot there. He thinks if hidden and hotspot can really be in the same sentence. She then asks him to talk with Saintis and see whether they will be able to make it. It's far but there's a train that goes there when he thanks her while thinking they almost miss seeing the sunrise. Afterwards he tells the Saintis to have this when she says that smells delicious. He says nothing beats steamed buns with milk when she tells him that looks so tasty. Ever since they got an air fryer making buns has been a breeze. He says that's right. It's amazing when she eats telling him it's delicious. He tells her it really is. It tastes even better freshly made. Saintis then quickly eats hers and then looks at his when he says it looks like she enjoyed it. She tells him it's so tasty. She already wants more when he says let's try making roasted sweet potatoes in the air fryer next time. Ryder Park gave them sweet potatoes. She tells him she's going to overeat again today. He tells her it's okay as they say calories don't count at home. She asks really when he disagrees while laughing. Just then she takes a bite from his telling him that's his punishment for lying. He tells her he will speak only the truth from now on. He tells her he heard one of this bun has about 231 calories. He tells her she ate her burn and took a big bite of his too. That's basically like having a whole extra bowl of rice. She apologizes telling him she doesn't need cruel truths so please tell her a kind lie. He says it's okay. A chubby Saintis is still cute when she asks if that's the truth or a kind lie. Afterwards the newscaster says there's only 10 minutes left until the new year. Hiro thinks for him this past year had a lot of gloomy moments, but meeting the Saintis made him happy. Owning many things can surely bring happiness but maybe just having someone to share life with is enough to make a person feel truly happy. Because they're much simpler beings than they think. Working together with the one they love towards a better life is a beautiful thing. Saintis also said that the journey is more important than the result so he hopes next year they can move out of this tiny apartment and make a cozy nest together. At the evening everyone is counting down the moments when Hiro says Happy New Year to her. She says it back to him. Afterwards, Saintis says she feels like they rode the subway all the way to the end. Hiro yawns saying getting up early made him sleepy. Ryder Park said she would come meet them so let's wait for a bit when she agrees. Just then Ryder Park arrives in her car telling them over there. She then greets both of them saying Happy New Year to them. They bot says it back to her. She tells them they're returning double the New Year wishes asking them to hop in inside the car. They agree. Afterwards, she takes them to a lovely place when Hiro says this looks nice. Saintis asks if he isn't cold when he tells her he's okay. She hugs him saying she's a bit cold when he asks if she wants him to hold her hand. Just then Ryder Park intervenes telling them she's the one who will hold it. No lovey-dovey stuff in front of her today. She's single and if she sees that on New Year's Day then she will explode. Both of them agrees while thinking she's scary. Afterwards, the sun starts rising up when Hiro tells them he brought some drinks. Ryder Park says that's a smooth move asking if this was enough to marry the Saintis. Saintis tells them the sun is slowly rising. She's happy to be able to see this view with him when he tells her he's happy too. He then thinks even if they're banned from being lovey-dovey while Ryder Park are burning. Hiro throws a stone at the lake when Park tells him he's so good at throwing. He laughs when she asks him to let her try too. She throws one but fails. Hiro asks Saintis if she likes to try too when she agrees. She then throws one saying that went the farthest when Mississippi Park asks if she was in a baseball team back in high school. Hiro hugs her from behind telling her their Saintis is just good at everything. Park asks if that isn't just couple nonsense, as he tells her it's not nonsense but it's a compliment, he's just stating facts. Mississippi Park tells them then one more for her too as she throws one but fails again. Saintis then hand feeds her chocolates saying she's third so here's a bronze medal. Park says when she's with them she can't even get mad when Hiro asks if they shall head back now. Park tells her to let her just make a quick call. It's cold, they both can go wait in the car first. She will turn on the heater. Both of them agrees. Afterwards, Hiro and Saintis walks towards the car when he asks the Saintis to get inside. She then sits inside and knocks at the window when Hiro asks what's it. She then blows on the window and makes a half heart when Hiro blows on it too and then completes it. Both of them smiles at each other when suddenly Mississippi Park comes back saying she told them no flirting today. Hiro gets scared. Afterwards, they're going back when Park tells them there's a restaurant their family runs over there. Let's grab breakfast before they go. Hiro asks if they're open already when she tells him they're opening early today for people coming to see the sunrise. She came ahead to help out for a bit. Let's park here and walk to the restaurant when they agree. Afterwards, as they are walking, Saintis tells him to look at this, there's a flower here. Mississippi Park looks at it telling her that's a lotus flower. It's a local specialty here. It's winter so the flower hasn't bloomed but the stalk remains. Hiro says it's bleak and desolate but strangely beautiful. Mississippi Park asks really she has seen it so often that it doesn't move her anymore. Hiro says the longer he looks, the more lovely it becomes just like her when Saintis laughs. Park tells them seriously, they're still flirting every chance they get when both of them giggles. Hiro tells her he was just reciting a poem. Afterwards, inside the restaurant Park tells her mother she's home. Just then, her mother lashes out at her saying she could have at least said she was coming. Park tells her she texted yesterday and called her earlier today but she didn't pick up. Just then Hiro and Saintis greets them. Saintis tells Park's mother she lives next door. Park's mother looks at her saying so she's her daughter's neighbor. She's so pretty asking where is she from, America or Russia. She should sit down as she will bring out some scorched rice soup. Park says why does she treat her so much better than her own daughter when her mother tells her to hurry up and go check the pot. Park tells her she was just about to. Just then Park's mother looks at Hiro asking if he's a friend of her daughter too. Hiro agrees when Park's mother asks him to go to the kitchen then and slice some green onions. After that sprinkle some calcium chloride around the shop too. Hiro thinks it's not that she treats her daughter badly, but it's just that she only treats Saint as well. Park tells him her mother is kind of ridiculous when her mother asks what's ridiculous is the handle on the millstone. That's not ridiculous, that's nonsense. Saintis is sitting peacefully. After a while, Hiro is working when he thinks Park must have had a rough time growing up. As he was working, Saintis comes asking him to have some scorched rice soup. Please have this at least. He drinks it thinking it's so warm. His body is starting to feel better. Just then Park asks both of them to come quickly because the food is ready. Both of them agree. Afterwards, Park's mother tells them it's a bit of a shame to serve this before the first sale of the year. They usually charge 60,000 when Park calls her. Her mother tells them she's giving it free of charge because the young man helped her out and the young lady is so pretty. She tells them to eat up as they thank her. Saintis thanks her for the food when Park's mother asks how could someone be this pretty. She asks her if she has a boyfriend. If not, then should she introduce her to a nice reliable young man. Just then Hiro hugs Saintis telling Park's mother sorry, but he's this lady's husband. Park's mother tells her he doesn't really look the part. He tells her maybe not at first glance, but how about now as he flexes muscles. Park's mother says how indecent when Saintis giggles saying she thinks it's cute. Park says Saintis is really clueless sometimes. And so the morning of the new year passed. With the same sun setting every day, with the same breakfast they eat every day, and with the same people they share each day with. May these special, ordinary moments continue all year long. At night, Saintis is standing thinking she bought a Corel bread to eat with Hiro. She hopes he enjoys it when suddenly she looks at him thinking it's Hiro. She calls for him when suddenly, a lady calls Hiro grabbing his arm. Hiro looks at her asking who when the lady tells him it's been a while, it's her. Hiro looks at her saying she must be Jong Suji. It's really her asking how come she has changed so much. Suji tells him of course she has changed. When was the last time they met? Saintis is overhearing them when Suji says he has really become even cooler than before. He has also grown a lot taller. Hiro tells her not at all, she has actually become more beautiful when Saintis gets angry. As Hiro is talking with Suji, Saintis thinks what kind of relationship did they both have. Just then Suji asks Hiro to come visit her place next time as she will take care of him. A few days ago, the Saintis saw the contents of Couple Wars. She thinks there's no way when suddenly she clings on to Hiro calling his name. Suji asks who is she when Hiro calls her. After hearing everything, Suji says so she's Hiro's girlfriend. Hiro tells her she's not his girlfriend, they are married. Suji asks they're married while congratulating him when Saintis thinks so they were classmates in high school. Hiro tells her she got married a few months ago when Saintis thinks they're in their honeymoon phase too. She asks how much of this has spread when Hiro tells her they just happened to run into each other here. She runs a nail salon. Saintis asks a nail salon when he tells her it's a place where they take care of and decorate their nails. Suji tells her she runs a nail salon in Hongdae. If she comes there then she will do her nails for free when Saintis thanks her. Suji says she's so glad to see him as she kept him here for so long asking him to see him later. She then tells her she will come to her shop soon with her husband as she leaves. After that inside the apartment, Hiro tells Saintis he brought her a hot bun. She's sitting on the ground when he asks what should he do if she's still embarrassed after dinner. She says she can't shake off the embarrassment. Her vision is clouded by jealousy. He tells her that's okay because he has been there before. She gets surprised asking when. He tells her never mind. He then thinks he thought she would be more composed than him, but he really feels like a normal couple now. He says he was actually happy to realize they both have the same feelings. Speaking of which, would she like to see his old photos? She asks old photos when he tells her photos from when he was in high school. He then shows her his picture from high school when she says he's so cute. He thanks her for saying he's cute when he shows her a picture of Suji telling her this is her. The person they met earlier. Saintis says she really has changed a lot. It's a shame she never got to meet the hero from this time. Hiro tells her it's fine, they can just make more memories in the future. He then says if it's Hongdae then he can take a bus from home. How about they go together next weekend while holding the business card he received earlier. She agrees telling him that sounds good. At a street in Hongdae, Hiro says this is the right place so let's go in when she agrees. They then walk inside the salon when Suji looks at them saying they are here. She tells them they're almost done so just wait for a little bit when Hiro agrees telling her they will wait. After a little while, she asks them what's this cake for. Hiro tells her Saintis bought it for her. Suji thanks them saying she will eat it well when Hiro says her shop is so beautiful. Suji thanks him saying she was lucky to have owned a shop so now she's playing the role of the boss. She's planning to sell this place and move soon when he asks why, the business seems to be going well. She tells him she decided to move to her husband's hometown. The rent for the shop keeps going up and she's getting tired so she needs a break. Just so they know she made the decision herself. Her husband didn't push her when he says he knows her personality but still. She tells him enough, let's stop talking about that. She then asks Saintis if she's thinking of getting a nail art treatment. Saintis looks at her nails when Suji tells her she's really beautiful and her hands are also very pretty. She has wanted to decorate her nails since she came. Hiro tells her Saintis works at a cafe so she can't get her nails done while Saintis apologizes. He tells her it's just that he's not used to decorating it in such a flashy way when Suji says that's a shame. She then says well she can at least clean up her nails and cuticles asking if that's okay when Saintis agrees. After that Saintis thanks her so much that she's putting in so much time and effort for her. She can feel that she's a kind person. Suji tells her it's nothing special asking if she came from another country. Saintis agrees telling her she came here just for Hiro. Suji says they both are totally giving off newlywed vibes, but her husband is so stiff ill. She came all the way from abroad to Korea, so she must have had a really hard time. Saintess tells her in comparison to her feelings for Hiro, the hardships were nothing. Suji tells her after seeing her she's feeling a little shy. She's just moving to another domestic place. Actually, she had a lot of concerns about moving to her husband's hometown, but it's the place where the person she loved was born and raised, so she doesn't feel scared. She feels like only good things will happen there. Saintess tells her she gets it as she feels the same way. She came here with that kind of feelings too when she grabs her hand, telling her from now on and always, she will pray for her happiness. Suji thanks her. After some time, Saintess calls Hiro as he's dozing off. She tells him it's all done while showing him her hands when he says her finger looks so much cleaner now. Since she worked at a cafe, he paid extra attention. She tells them if they're in a job where their hands get wet a lot, then they have to take care of them more often. She has added some nail care products, so she should use it from time to time too. Saintess thanks her, saying she appreciates it. After that, Hiro says her hands are already beautiful, but she must feel even better after the treatment. He will look into nail care as well near his home or work when she tells him also, there's more good news. She clings onto his arm when he asks what is it. She tells him she met someone who shares the same feelings. She really had a meaningful time when Hiro thinks he wonders what she talked about with Suji, telling her he's glad. Saintess then says while they're at it, should they go on a date, when he agrees, saying he would love that. A lady says since she has a fair hair color and skin tone, she thinks this design would suit her well, and this ring has such a delicate design that it's not easy to pull off, but since her fingers are slender. The lady is explaining it to the Saintess when Hiro thinks how long has it been since he started hearing things like this. How long has this explanation going to last? Afterwards, both of them are sitting at a cafe looking gloomy when he thinks he didn't know buying a ring would be this hard. They still have to visit other brands, but he just can't bring himself to do it, asking Saintess if she's tired. She asks him too when he says well, it's understandable. They have been walking around for 2 hours already when she says what? They came out to look for wedding rings before registering their marriage. Saintess said she was fine with just them being together even without a ring, but the more he thought about it, the more he felt the wedding ring was necessary. Dad gave him money last time and Mom said she would help with the wedding gift expenses too. Aside from that, he has also saved enough money to buy a pair of rings himself. Wedding rings, people say it's not just about the cost. He has heard many couples fight over rings, even his team leader went through that, so he tried doing some research by asking the people around him. Why is there so much to think about? Line, design, material, color, size, what's all this? He asks if they should take a break and look again later while thinking proposal rings and wedding rings are different. What is the difference between a wedding ring and a wedding band? Guard rings have a whole different purpose. Normally, the bride takes the lead with wedding rings, but Saintess isn't familiar with the wedding culture of this world, so he needs to take the initiative. He asks out of the ones they looked at earlier, did she not like any of them? She agrees, saying even though he worked hard to find them, she's sorry. He tells her it's okay. He was planning for them to take their time today anyway. It's a ring they will wear for life, so they have to find one that both of them truly love. She then thanks him, saying he can have this when he thanks her. He thinks maybe it's because it was Saintess's drink. It somehow tastes sweeter, but why doesn't Saintess try to actively pick out a ring? It's not like the department store staff was rude, and it's not like she dislikes rings. She treasures even a single receipt if it's theirs. The rings they recommended, they were all diamonds as their blood diamonds. Diamonds are gemstones mined in the midst of civil wars and exploitation. They're soaked in the blood of many people. Maybe Saintess smelled the blood from the diamond rings. He's not trying to criticize couples who choose diamond rings, though normally people don't know what happens in the mining process, but for Saintess, who can sense all things, she must have vividly felt every part of that mining process. Just then he says alright, if she has finished her drink, let's go take another look. Let's check out something other than diamonds, when she agrees. Afterwards, they check out different shops and brands when they walk inside of a shop. The shopkeeper welcomes them when Hiro says they're looking for wedding rings, but there's a bit of a situation. The shopkeeper, after hearing everything, asks so they don't want diamonds, when he agrees, asking would they be able to recommend another gemstone. The shopkeeper asks then how about pearls, when Saintess says pearls. The shopkeeper agrees, saying it seems like they would go well with the pearl necklace the bride is wearing right now. Hiro thinks that's the necklace he got from her mother, asking do a lot of other people get pearl rings. The shopkeeper says not really, when suddenly the lady besides him hits him, saying she means pearls aren't exactly popular as wedding rings since diamonds just have such a strong presence. Has he seen the movie Nana by any chance? She gives him a poster when he tells her he has. The lady tells him the actress in that movie also used a pearl for her wedding ring, even though it had a diamond as a side stone too. It still shows that pearls can definitely be used as wedding rings. A few celebrities in Korea has also chosen pearls for their wedding rings, as she thinks pearls would really suit the bride. It matches her hair color perfectly too. Hiro asks if grooms also get pearl rings, when the shopkeeper says grooms usually doesn't go for pearls, but he can just use the same band without the stone in platinum. He could also go without a stone or add something else depending on his preference. The lady says even with diamonds, grooms and brides often have different designs for their rings. Between men and women there are usually differences in finger size, preference for flashiness and shine. Hiro asks then how about they choose the bride's ring first then match his with it. They say that sounds good, telling them here are the pearl rings options. Hiro asks Saintess if there's one that catches her eye. She looks at them, asking what about him? Which one looks the prettiest to him? He says then they'll choose at the same time on the count of 3 together, when she says that sounds good. At the count of 3, both of them picks out the same ring when Saintess says they choose the same one. He tells her it's beautiful like her when she disagrees, saying like him. The shop lady asks Hiro why don't he try putting it on her when he says him. He says if he puts it on her then it might end up looking crooked. The shopkeeper gives him a pair of gloves asking him to put these on. He agrees thinking his hands are sweating so that's why they gave him gloves. Now that he thinks about it, they will officially become a married couple soon so it feels strange. He then looks at her thinking today why does she look so beautiful? She offers him her hand when he thinks he's nervous. He then puts the ring on her ring finger when she says it smells like the sea. He thinks the sea as if she's speaking about which sea. Is it the South Pacific, or the one near her family home in Yangyang, Gangwon province? Or is it the sea they saw the night they rescued the hostages from the prison tower? Instead of the clamshell with a gem back then, a pearl ring has returned to her. Is it too much to think this way? In joy and sorrow, in sickness and in health, in wealth and in poverty he asks if she will spend the rest of her life with him. She looks at him in admiration when she agrees. There are days when they just feel exhausted for no reason at all. Today was one of those days. It felt especially tough as he couldn't just blame it on the fact that it's a Monday. Words that he would usually brush off felt quite sharp today and things he could normally handle just felt overwhelmingly hard. The compassionate manager, the sly assistant manager, the cool yet kind senior, they all seemed more on notch than usual. He too felt unusually irritable and had to work hard not to clash with his teammates. He thought maybe he would feel a bit better after lunch, but then the vice president suddenly stomped in and turned the whole office upside down with incomprehensible orders. In the end he left work about 2 hours later than usual all because he was trying to solve a problem he didn't even understand. It was only after he proposed a solution right before leaving that he realized it was a miscommunication in tasks allocation. It wasn't even their department's job nor was it their mistake but they ended up cleaning up the mess anyway. It's unfair but is this what it's like to be a working adult? Do they just bow their heads and come up with solutions first? He walks up to his apartment, when he takes a deep breath thinking if he goes home feeling like this then Saintis will end up seeing a bad side of him. He needs to put on a smile first telling himself to smile. He then puts on a fake smile, and then opens the door saying he's home. The Saintis welcomes him home when she stops, and then stares at him. He looks at her in confusion when she says he had a rough day. He disagrees telling her not really when she tells him he can't lie to her, remember. They promise to be together in joy and sorrow when he thinks he tried to hide it but he guessed it was like a glass mask to Saintis. She completely saw through him. He then agrees telling her today was just kind of rough when she tells him he worked hard. She asks he hasn't eaten yet so let's hurry up and eat. She then puts dinner when he tells her that was delicious while thanking her. She says she should be the one thanking him for eating well. He gets up telling her he will clean up when she disagrees telling him he has had a rough day. She should sit down and rest. He says but she prepared the whole meal when she tells him she will clean up but could he take care of something else for her. He asks something else when she agrees telling him it's a very, very important task. Afterwards, as she's washing the dishes he hugs her from behind thinking a back hug. Is the Saintess trying to spoil him right now? The faint scent of her shampoo, the clinking of dishes, her soft humming, the coarse linen texture of her apron, he likes it. Just then he thinks if he dozed off. She asks if he's awake when he apologizes. She says she told him not to apologize remember. He was about to say thanks when she tells him to say something else instead of thanks when he says he loves her. At night they are lying on the bed when she asks if he feels a bit better now. He agrees saying thanks to her. She tells him she's glad but please always be honest with her when he's having a hard time. She's his wife after all. Isn't being a partner about being together in joy, sorrow, hardship, and exhaustion? He was about to say thanks again when she gets angry at him when he suddenly tells her he loves her. She then asks him when can they register their marriage. He tells her he has already prepared everything so they can do it any time when she asks how about tomorrow then. He asks tomorrow when she agrees telling him they can go together during their lunch break. He thinks the district office isn't too far from the office and the cafe but registering the marriage without a ceremony. They will definitely have a wedding someday when he holds her hand. He then agrees telling her to let's meet tomorrow and go register their marriage. She then tells him she went to the Tonkatsu place in front of the dentist during lunch today. Did he know about that place as she wanted to surprise him? He says that startled him when she giggles. She gently caresses Hiro's face who's sound asleep. He made it through another exhaustive day and came home. His face carries traces of anguish and fatigue. Why is it that life is dazzlingly beautiful and yet so unbearably difficult at the same time? When she first came to this world she thought it was such a happy place. The flames of war had long ceased, the people were free and equal and the children here received proper education but life here isn't exactly easy either. In the midst of fierce competition someone always ends up drinking the bitter cup and even those who raise the cup of celebration tremble in anxiety not knowing when they will have to set it down again. If they say they are hurting, they get mocked so everyone hides their wounded hearts. People burned by anxiety and exhaustion end up resenting and criticizing each other but in a life where it's hard to even take care of themselves, understanding and forgiving others is no easy task. Who could possibly force compassion upon anyone? When she opens the window and looks outside she sees red crosses scattered between the rows of houses in the distance. Symbols of salvation and atonement, they say. In other words, maybe there are that many people desperately longing for salvation. She's not a believer of the cross but she offered up a prayer for them so that they may treat themselves with a little more kindness and in return share that kindness with their family, friends, lovers and co-workers. Her mother, her God doesn't exist in this world but dear Silver One, if she could somehow reach her across the boundless realms please look upon the people of this world with mercy and grant them compassion. Even if she can't bestow a grand blessing please share with them just a handful of warmth, and embrace and love so that they can endure each day. She offered up her prayer to a God who can no longer hear her then returned to Hiro's side. She decided not to offer separate prayers for Hiro because rather than leaving his happiness to someone else she wants to make it happen herself. Looking back maybe that's when she first began to let go of her role as a saintess. She caresses the hero's face once more. His face now looks a little more at ease than before, but traces of anguish and fatigue still lingers deeply. Once he was a hero who bore the fate of the entire world, and now as her husband he carries both her fate and his own. The weight may not be the same, but to him her burden must not feel light either. Thinking of it in terms of weight, it makes her feel a bit conflicted as a woman, but still for the hero who endured today she gently kissed him and whispered softly. At office, Hero calls his manager saying he has to do what he mentioned last time. His manager asks if that was today, telling him to let's move to another place to talk. After that, manager asks Hero he's registering his marriage today. Hero tells him that's right. He's planning to do it during lunch break as he might be 20 or 30 minutes late, so he wanted to let him know in advance. Still, he will come back as quickly as possible. The manager tells him no worries, the CEO and the vice president are both out playing golf today, so take his time. He asks him to take his time and be back by 2 o'clock when Hero thanks him. Manager says by the way, back in his day they used to have the wedding first and register their marriage later, but do young people these days do it the other way around? Hero says it's not that. They just have their own circumstances. They decided to have the wedding ceremony later once they have settled down a bit. The manager asks if that's so, then as someone with more experience in marriage let him give him a piece of advice. He won't tell him not to fight, but sometimes it's better to argue than to keep everything bottled up. Some people say they should always give in, but he thinks that's wrong too. How can one person always be the one to give in? What he wants to say is that, don't try to win, asking if he knows why he said that. Hero tells him he's not sure when the manager says the couple is one of a kind team in this world. They're always on the same side. Even teammates can have arguments when feelings get hurt, but even if they win, what do they actually gain? Even if they fight, don't try to win, just settle things on the spot. Hold hands and make up when Hero thanks him, thinking it's a bit of a generational comment, but since he's a marriage senior he will take it to heart. His manager tells him, they say as they get older, keep their mouth closed and their wallet open, so take this. He gives him a card when Hero calls him. Hero says congratulatory money as they didn't even prepare the return gifts. Manager tells him to just take it. If someone in his position can't even do this much, then it wouldn't look good. He tells him it's a department store gift certificate. It's not a huge amount, probably just enough to cover one appliance. Hero tells him they will use it gratefully and with care. Manager then says he forgot to say this, he hopes they both have a happy married life. After that, the lady says they're the ones attorney Huang told her about. She has confirmed everything, so they will get a message in about a week once it's processed. Both of them gets happy when Saintis offers an envelope to the lady. The lady asks what's this when Saintis tells her it's a letter she gave to those she's grateful to, wishing her happiness. The lady tells her she will be sure to read it as they both be happy as well. As they leave, Hero asks Saintis what was that letter just now, when she tells him it's something she wrote as a thanks to the people who helped them with their marriage. He asks if she knows who the official in charge was, when she disagrees, saying but she can still write a letter anyway. She wrote to a bunch of other people too. Not just her, first to her mom and dad and the girl next door, the lawyer, when he asks if there's one for him, can he read it? She tells him she was going to give it to him at home. At home, she gives him the letter saying here he goes. He takes it saying she really wrote one for him. She agrees saying the person she's the most thankful for is him. She thought of him, so she wrote the very first one for him. He thanks her, telling her he will definitely write a reply too. That evening he says from now on the first one-room family meeting will, let's get started. He asks if everyone can see him well. Saintis waves at him saying they can see him just fine. He asks if the stuffed animals, friends, can see too, when she agrees. He says then the first item on the agenda is their nest. After registering their marriage and becoming a married couple, the most important issue. Separate from how happy they're in this one room, for the sake of not just the two of them but 3 or 4, they will need a home with separate rooms. Comfortable happiness is better than uncomfortable happiness. She asks if she should extend her working hours a bit. He asks if that wouldn't be difficult for her. She disagrees, telling him she actually enjoys working. Even if she works more, she will still leave earlier than him. He tells her to let's think about that a bit more. There's a system for newlyweds so they can receive some government support, while thinking he has the money he has saved and also the money his father gave him. She then says now that they're talking about leaving she feels a bit lonely. She really liked this one room. He tells her they won't be leaving right away as they still have about 6 months. Their new home will soon be filled with new memories. She says that's true. If the house gets bigger, then the memories will fill it too, when he agrees. He says then let's wrap up the nest agenda like this. The second agenda is the wedding. As for the wedding, please wait for just a little bit longer. If they cut down on the wedding expenses, it said it could be done for about 3-1, but rather than having a rush and sloppy ceremony, he wants to have a proper ceremony even if it is delayed. The problem of course is the money, but if they save up steadily, he thinks it could be possible by late spring next year. He then apologizes to her for making her wait, but in return he will make her the happiest May bride in the world. She says then she will make him the happiest May groom in the world. They have already sent letters to the people they're grateful for, and they have registered their marriage, so she thinks just letting people know that Hero and she are married and getting congratulated is enough for her. He says still personally he really wants to prepare for the wedding properly. She asks why, when he says because he wants to see Saintis walking down the aisle in a pure white wedding dress. She will definitely look incredibly beautiful and elegant. It will probably be something he will be proud of for life and a memory he will cherish forever. The third agenda is the end, as it feels a bit awkward to end it here, so he will take questions. Just then the Saintis picks up a stuffed toy when Hero asks what is it curious about. Saintis asks when will it have a younger sibling, when he gets embarrassed asking a younger sibling for Hero Jr. She agrees saying a cute little sibling while feeling embarrassed too. He says he also wants to meet Saintis and their child as soon as possible, but for now let's make sure they have the right environment to raise the child. After they move to a bigger house, he hopes their child will be born in a prepared environment surrounded by the blessings of many. That's his wish, asking her if that will be okay. She tells him she wasn't the one asking though. He says he knows it was the youngest who asked. He guess Hiro Jr. wants a sibling because they only have older sisters and brothers. He won't make it wait too long. She asks if it's a promise when he agrees, saying it's a promise. He thinks a promise between Saintis and Hiro Jr. instead of Hiro. Just then, Saintis whispers to him, telling him Hiro Jr. wants to have a lot of siblings. When he agrees, telling her then he will do his best. She says then she will do her best too, as they both looks at each other with loving eyes.